No Man's Sky and Minecraft will take 2 hours. The rest 3 hours. I hope you have a plan to keep it short. Yeah,
I already ordered a pizza, and then I'm going to order another pizza, and then I'm going to order another pizza, and that should take care of all 3 hours.
there you go.
Probably kill a
I
pizza
have thought
now.
I was thinking about actually eating on the show for
You
once.
should.
I might not do it tonight, but well, I don't have anything planned yet. Oh, we're live, aren't we?
We're totally live. Oh yeah, absolutely. Should we cue the
Oh,
cat?
Hello, internet. Cue the cat.
All
oh
right.
man, cue the lap.
Wow.
Cue the lap. Cue the
Cue the,
cat because I want to say
cue the
what's
lamp.
up to the villain. He says he's got a recovery shake for me, which I very desperately need. Aceville the attack cat says I have brownies. What kind of brownies, Aceville? Berber cat, just incredible. Captain 5224. Oh man, I was hearing the YouTube playback. Stay warm 420, the game cat. Meow, Belramio, the game cat. Steve IRE, Johnny Ripe off the straight cat. Hipsy, the game cat. Hello, everybody. Don't sub. Hello. Wink Rogers, the game cat. What's up, my dude? Guy son, fist bump to you. X Pacer X, you're early. Epic face chase. Yes. Ash VR. Groovy, the virtual reality skeleton. Hello.
Oh wow, I like that name. That's my favorite.
Daniel, the shrimp cat. Meow. Because they make like ink shots. Wow, 0%.
No, nothing.
I need the VR
LJ
skeleton to give us a doot doot.
LJ, the RE7 game cat, soon to be the
Mr.
RE8 game cat. Gamer Chick 13, Skydance Interactive in the house. Nick Mulo, Trusty Mod, Paper Machete Man, hello. Secrets of What's Up, dude. Red Rover, the effing game cat. That's right, pay attention. The VR Grid, Ryan from the VR Grid, what is up, my dude? Was just watching you play a little Solaris, which we're going to talk a little bit about. Povey and Lion, Believe H3, the Spartan game cat. Stormy, Rody, the game cat in the house tonight. Et.2k9.now. I lost everything, dude. I lost everything. Nike, Alexandria, the game cat. Hello.
What?
And of course, Dave Station VR, Seymour Game Cats.
Hey, that's me.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you live because that's what live means. You're there. We're here. It's all happening. It's all happening. My name is Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station VR.
Oh yeah, I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. I hope you're ready to sit on your ass for hours and hours because we have so much to talk about, guys.
Oh my God.
This
Always
is
ready
this
to
is
sit on my
like
ass.
the beginning of the next few weeks are going to be what's the word?
This is the beginning. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
Just the beginning.
Trying to stay
A,
positive
a
about
marathon. I think it's going to be a marathon for us pretty much. Like this is going to be insane. So many games these next few weeks. This week already Minecraft and tons of stuff to talk about. No Man's Sky. I'm excited.
it. And
AJ.
that guy on the far right-hand side of your screen is AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
Brian, show
Hey.
me your O-shape. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I kept hitting the walls. I'm not very
You
coordinated.
can make an O with your body.
My O shape was, oh, damn it. Kept hitting the walls. All right, you guys. So many things to talk about. Let's get a little housekeeping out of the way first. Also, hello. What's up, everybody in the chat? Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be an exciting show. But also, as Dave was saying, there's so much going on that I'm actually a little bit nervous. There's like almost too much to deal with. But we'll get through it, man. We'll get through it. We'll get through it together. You and us. You and me. Us and you. Somebody else should host the show. Is Belramio available?
What's that thing? You should have done that thing from Blade Runner. Interconnected.
There we go.
What is that thing? He has to keep
I
repeating
forgot
that.
what- Yeah. Interlinked.
Cells,
Cells,
interlinked,
interlinked.
cells, interlinked.
Love it.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you join our Discord. The link is in the description. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. That's where all the cats hang out. That's where we hang out with the cats. Free. Just click the link. Join Discord. If you've never joined Discord before, it's no big deal. I had no idea what I was doing. I still have no idea what I was doing. I accidentally kicked people out. It's terrible. Check it out. What else, though? What else? Anything important we gotta add before we get started, or should we just dive right into the news because we have so much stuff to talk about?
We have a lot to talk about, don't we? I think
do.
we can. I mean, if they're in the Discord, they're good. That's good enough.
I still think we should start the show the same way we do each and every week.
Oh, you're right, AJ. I can't believe we forgot about this with a little game of should we or shouldn't we, where we take the clock, we put 60 seconds up on it, and we talk about anything that's maybe not VR related, a movie, a game, a TV show, a book, even if people still read books, that we've been playing or watching or enjoying this week, and tell you guys in hopefully 60 seconds or less what we're on about. So who wants to go first this time?
Boom. You got it. I'll go first.
All right, excellent. On your mark, get Des, go.
So, Operencia, the Stolen Sun came out last week.
I've heard of that.
And, I was really determined to play it. And, I put 30 hours into it. And they said this game is 20 hours long. I'm at the end, at the final boss. I got down to the final boss and got him to 11 health. And then he killed me in his final phase.
Oh.
Yeah. And 30 hours in is about where 31, 32 is where I'm going to end up beating this game. And there's still more content. But I just got to say, I want to give this game a little love because, first impressions, it might be a little wonky. But overall, there was some really, really amazing gameplay, like deep gameplay elements. The turn-based combat, lots of strategy, made me think the entire time, keep me on my toes. Lots of puzzles that I actually really liked. But then there's like 2 puzzles that are like, these are the worst puzzles ever made, and they're terrible. But I would have to say Operencia, the Stolen Sun, if you're a fan of turn-based, RPGs, dungeon crawlers, stuff like that, definitely should we.
Awesome. And real quick, it's good to hear you say, that it's taking you longer than you thought it would.
Right.
Because usually we get these estimates from developers. It's like, oh, our game's 8 hours. And then you play it and it's like a 3-hour game. And you're like, how could this possibly take 8 hours to beat? Whereas in this one, they give you kind of a range. But, if you can take 30 hours to beat that, that sounds like a normal human. You make mistakes. You got to redo stuff. You die a few times. Puzzles don't immediately come to you. So it's good to know that it's actually longer than they say it is, depending on how you play it.
Right.
So.
It's very challenging as well. So you have to like a challenge as well. It's not going to be for everybody, but for those that are looking for something like this, it is absolutely fantastic. So I could go on for a while about how just the really cool things I saw in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
I won't stop you, man. If you want to go on for a while.
You only get 60 seconds. He only gets 60
God damn it. All right. Well, then, Dave, are you ready to go?
I am ready to go.
All
yes,
right.
I have my prop. I have my prop with me.
Oh crap! You got a prop. Excellent. On your mark, get Des, go.
You guys see what this is? Anybody see what this is?
Oh, you
That's
got it.
Super Mario 3D All Stars. It's a ton of fun. It's 3 classic Mario games everybody knows and loves: Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, which is the one that not everybody loves, and Super Mario Galaxy. And seeing this on the Switch, like on my HD TV, Galaxy looks so gorgeous. Even today, like the art design really just pops, and it comes through really well in HD. They've actually done a really good job, like accommodating for motion controls in Galaxy as well. Because originally you had to point the Wii controller at the TV. You don't have a Wii mode anymore, so they made that work pretty well. And I've just been having a ton of fun with Sunshine and Galaxy. I haven't tried 64 yet because I suck at 64 and it's way harder than the other ones. But Sunshine is great. Galaxy's great. It's a really good package for $60. And
question.
what's up?
Actually finished.
Oh, it's just Mario. You guys like Mario, right? What else do I have to say? Like, I don't need 60 seconds
I have
to explain how Mario is cool.
Question about the 64 version. Is it the regular 64 version, like the classic, or is it the DS version where you have like Yoshi and stuff too?
I don't know, actually. I can find out, but I don't know because that's the only one I haven't played yet of the 3. Just because I don't know. I know 64 was so important and so impactful for video games, like in general, like introducing 3D to Mario. And they did a really good job for the time, but like for me, N64 games don't age as well as a lot of other old consoles do. And so it's hard for me to get excited about going back to a 64 game. But I will at some point. I mean, the what they've done with the controls and the ports of Sunshine and Galaxy is so good that I'm sure 64 will be a treat to play as well. But,
Galaxy's very good.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Brian, did you do or watch or enjoy anything this week that we'd like to know about?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. Well,
Nope.
0 seconds on the clock. You're done.
Moving on. All right, excellent. I'm actually going to skip Should We or Shouldn't We this week. I literally, I kid you not, when I say that I've been just every waking minute has been, either setting up meetings or in interviews or playing games for review that we're going to talk about later this show. This has been one of those weeks where like I don't get a personal life.
I think I'll substitute this for you. I'll say the shouldn't we is run your own YouTube channel.
Yeah,
probably. It's a pain in the ass, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
so
a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun,
way,
and luckily we get to talk about all of my favorite things of the week later on during this show. So, Man, I really cheaped out on that one. I'll do 2 should we or shouldn't we's next week because I feel like I'm gonna have to make it up to you guys. But we'll put 120 seconds up on the clock.
No, you got to shove them both into 60 seconds.
We'll put 2 clocks up on the counter and run them.
A 30 second and then another 30 second. Yeah.
Got it. Excellent. All right, AJ, what's our first news story this week?
So we've got 9 news stories to go through, including
a baker's dozen.
Some DLC, some games that are going to be coming out pretty soon. We've also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 releases to talk about this week as well. And there's a couple games on sale. Real quick, we have a $4.99 tip from the Mikey Sensei, GameCat Extraordinaire. Says my should we this week is Immortal Legacy. He posted that thing on Twitter. And it was absolutely hilarious. His reaction, he met
the cookie pie.
The cookie pie. And it was the most glorious reaction I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Right. Just an honest, like, what the fuck, girl? What are you doing here? Like, I mean, I was laughing so hard watching that.
Yeah. He's like gave her the queer eye treatment, basically. It's hilarious.
It's
awesome.
Well,
and then Bel Ramio says,
he said, I fully support Mikey with the €2 donation. Thank you so much, Bel Ramio. We fully support Mikey as well, and I fully support Immortal Legacy.
That massive sale has ended, so no longer $10. So you missed your chance, but it'll go on sale again. So
what's crazy sorry to interrupt. What's crazy is that we literally just ended this gigantic sale with the 4-year anniversary of PlayStation VR right upon us, and so. Usually that's the biggest PSVR sale of the year. I'm wondering if they're going to top the sale in just a couple weeks.
I don't know. They went pretty big with that last one, and that was sort of like their PSVR week. So I feel like they did their anniversary stuff there, and they're not going to make a big deal out of it. I think when it hits 4 years. It's also odd that the Quest 2 launches almost on the same day. 4 years later after the PSVR. It's October 12th, right? I think when they ship those out.
Oh, that sounds right.
Yeah. Just a weird coincidence.
I know it got pushed back. I don't know when the original date was.
Yeah.
All right, but as always, we're going to start with anything PS5 related. First things first, guys. Just want to give you a heads up. There are more pre-orders going live, more emails going out. So if you missed your chance to get a pre-order in, then make sure you check your email, see if you get that email from Sony, and you'll have another chance. Select stores, retailers are going to be restocking or having pre-orders go live this weekend. So just wanted to shed some light on that in case you are still trying to get your PS5.
And keep an eye out for Sony for a second apology because they were like, "Sorry guys, we really botched those pre-orders, but we'll make sure it's good going forward." And then retailers were like, "Nope, we're doing whatever we want." So they haven't been able to keep that promise. I would say follow Wario64 on Twitter. Turn on notifications for Wario64 on Twitter. You will have a chance, at least a crack at getting a pre-order, because as soon as they go live on Target and Walmart and at Best Buy, this guy has it up there, posts it. And 2 minutes later, it's gone. So, my goodness, Red Rover, the effing game cab.
With the
I think he gets a tree guy. He gets a tree guy for that.
Donation. Nothing?
I turned on the setting where tree guy gets cut off again because my computer is making noise.
Red Rover,
so the
Red
noise
Rover.
canceling kills.
Joe Grover says all these games coming out, and I'm still stuck in a hotel evacuated with shit internet. Oh, dude, so sorry, man. Going home is going to be epic. It's coming soon. I'm going to hole up in my house for months.
Here's what I'll say. Minecraft is like a 200 megabyte download, dude. If you're interested, even if you got shitty internet, if you got your PS4 there in your VR, get Minecraft. You can download that in an hour or two on hotel internet, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you will
just
spend the rest of your life in there.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of stuff to do. You'll forget that you're even exiled from your own home.
We hope you get to go home soon, man. We hope you get to go home soon. Very, very sorry that you're stuck there, but luckily you've got a place to go home to, and we're very excited for you to get back there. Thank you for the donation.
All right, so
PS5 pre-orders. I think we just wrapped on that. So AJ, what's next on the list?
Next, we still got 2 other things PS5 related. The PlayStation Store updated their page with the PS5 console, and they added this more PS5 console features to it, and it mentions things like backwards compatibility, play a back catalog of PS4 games on your PS5 console, but then it mentions this certain thing that says game boost, and it says enjoy faster and smoother frame rates in select PS4 and PSVR games.
Hell yes. I mean, we expected this. I think we all expected this. We hoped it would be the case. It makes sense. But it's good to see it in writing. And, with how little we know about what the PS5 is going to do for PSVR, it's good to hear something, finally, I think.
Well, so lots of questions, though, still remain. Like, that's a very small statement about something that could be very big. Is this simply, like, boost mode on PlayStation 4 Pro?
Well, I hope not, because everyone always says, "Hey, if you're having issues with so and so game, turn off your boost mode." And it's
I never had a problem with boost mode. And I never tried the super sampling thing. I know the super.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yes,
that's boost mode causes problems too.
Yeah,
I think boost mode, when Skyrim first, I'm trying to think exactly when it happened. It was after one of the Skyrim patches. It didn't work. Like I think like entire parts of the world wouldn't load in with boost mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never had any issues with that because I pretty much keep that on all the time. But it's just awesome to see that the frames per second could be enhanced with this. That will make a big difference, especially for people that get motion sickness. Higher frames per second is supposedly going to be like the biggest way to combat motion sickness. So that will hopefully provide a way for a lot of people that are sensitive to jump in. So some of the other things, it says it talks about the upgrade system. The PS5 console gives games publishers the ability to let players upgrade their disc and digital PS4 games to digital PS5 games. And then finally, it says PlayStation VR integration. It says connect your PlayStation VR to your PS5 console to enjoy supported PSVR games. To set up your PSVR with your PS5 console, you'll need a PlayStation Camera 2 for PS4 and PlayStation Camera adapter. Says no purchase necessary, but it says more details on how to claim an adapter will be shared on PlayStation.com when available. So still no news on when or how we're going to get those adapters, but they're just reassuring us that there will be an adapter with no purchase needed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's still a little worrisome to me. Like, I'd love some details on how I get this thing, because a lot of people who did get their pre-orders or still want their pre-orders to come through, or, they're trying to get one day one, launch day. No one knows if you can just plug your PSVR in on launch day, or if you have to ask Sony to give you something or go somewhere and pick up something, or like, I want to know that when I pick it up from the store, I can come home and play VR on it. Because as much as I want to play Miles Morales, like, I want to see how the VR is. That's the first thing I'm going to do, and I think a lot of people feel that way. So it's just stressful and not, to not know that.
Yeah,
really.
And I mean, even more importantly, it's like you said, I want to come home and plug this thing in. Dude, most people aren't coming home and plugging it in. Most people are waiting for the Amazon delivery. It's a COVID console launch, and like the last thing anybody wants to do is like, hey, I just got this delivery from Amazon or whatever retailer you got it from, and then have to actually go out to a retailer and be like, sit in the line and be like, hey, do you have this thing that like no one's even gonna fucking know, right? Even if retailers have it, they're gonna have a box of it somewhere, and you're gonna be like, there's this thing for PlayStation 5, connect your PSVR. No retailer seems to have any idea. They don't understand anything about PSVR, and so it's gonna be this thing where they're like, we don't even know what these are. I don't know, just dump them, and so like you're gonna show up at a store and go, they're gonna have no idea what you're talking about.
If that's how they do it, I don't even know if it's going to be physical retailers or if it'll be a mail-in program. I mean, honestly, the smartest thing they could possibly do is like, they're already probably taking a loss on the console. How much does it cost, like, bottom line, to include a little adapter in the box?
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, but it probably cost them like 25 cents to make one of those things. Like, just put it in there.
The downside
and let me.
Yeah, but when you do 25 cents by 100 million,
it's true, and I guess you assume most people don't want it. So
only 5% of your audience cares about it. But
see, here's the thing: would have been awesome is Sony did pre-orders through their own site, and what would have been an obvious win and an easy way to get this done is say, hey, select an option. Do you want us to include the adapter for you? when we ship this to you, because that would be so simple.
Yeah.
Like either other retailers could do it too, but Sony directly is the one, I assume, making these things. So like that they would be the people to allow you to just click it as an option, I would think.
Yeah, I would say I would hope that Sony will make these things available before launch, so that they say here's what you got to do if it's a mail-in thing, so that at least you're just sitting on it for like 2 weeks before your console shows up, and you go, oh yeah, no, I already have this, it's ready to go, boom, all good.
That would be excellent too.
Yeah.
Brian, you want to grab some tips here?
Sure thing. The first tip that we let slide by a little bit was from Micklad, the Game Cat, with a €10 donation. Nope, £10 donation, saying 12-hour live mind stream. Yeah, you get your claws in me, Dave. 12-hour live Minecraft stream, Brian. Wow. Got to be worth 10 times my donation. I've enjoyed about 5 hours of it so far, but watch all your content just sometimes over 2 days. Did I read that wrong? I feel like I threw a bunch of words together.
I think he's saying that sometimes your streams are so long that he has to watch them over the span of 2 days.
Right.
Because nobody's going to watch a 12-hour stream in one day unless they're there.
My reading skills are not up to par today. I apologize. Thank you so much, Micklad, the Game Cat. That was an fucking insane stream, man. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about Minecraft. I really appreciate the donation. We also want to give a shout out to Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the £2 donation. Says, I will be amazed if they don't throw it in the box. I think you're gonna not be amazed.
Yeah.
Or you will be amazed, because I don't think they're gonna throw it in the box. Yeah.
I just wish they would, but you're right, AJ. I think it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Thank you for the donations, guys. We really appreciate it.
All right.
Actually, so hold on a second. I feel like I don't want to harp on this forever, but when they talk about this boost mode or whatever it's called for select PS4 and PSVR titles,
yes,
they say select as if it's just not going to like universally work across the board. Do you think that this is going to be something that developers are going to have to take advantage of? Would they have to be like, oh, this is like a pro patch? Is it going to be the PS5 patch? Or do you think this is just going to be like oh yeah, I think this game could be optimized by hitting a button sort of thing?
Well,
Maybe
so I think Oh, go ahead.
Maybe they have to be certified or something. This sounds like built-in into the hardware, right? This doesn't sound like it has any involvement with the developers on a
I don't know about that, because it says select. The word select is really important there.
But I feel like that's because maybe not every single game will be playable, so they can't just say every game. So it kind of has to be, or if there's a game that does have a problem.
So when we get into stuff like PS4 compatibility with PS5, they say most games. They don't say select games. They say most games. And the word select seems like it was picked for a reason. You know what I mean? Like they will probably have to work with the developers to get it boosted for PS5. Because like the analogy I've used before is like if I go buy a classic Star Wars PC game off of Steam, it's not going to automatically, just because I have good PC hardware, get magically, up remastered into like beautiful HD quality. Like it's just going to look the same and it'll run really well on my computer. Maybe if there were frame rate issues in 1999 when it was released, there won't be any now. But beyond that, the developer would actually have to go back in and do something to the game, the code itself, to upgrade it for a better system. So I think that's what we're going to see. It's going to be developers going back, and if they've sold a lot of copies, like I think we'll see Beat Saber, I think we'll see maybe Skyrim, I think we'll see some of the top hitters, super hot stuff like that. Even ones, Resident Evil 7 probably, ones that have sold a lot of copies will get that, I assume. And then who knows if Along Together is going to be PS5 enhanced? You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
And by the way, this says frames per second specifically. I'd never said anything about like graphical enhancements and stuff. Obviously, that would have to be something from the developers. But I'm not saying. But I just want to make sure, because you were throwing in graphical visual quality stuff. That's not what we're talking about at all.
The frame rate part, I could agree with you potentially on. Yeah, it might just have a better frame rate. Luckily, most games frame rate's not an issue. Like Sony makes sure that frame rate is pretty stable most of the time.
Yeah, this only mentions smoother frame rates in select PS4 and PSVR games. Nothing about graphics.
Just want to make that Cypher 36 Vita. Oh, I love that he has Vita in his name. With the 100 Mexican pesos donation, says Sony filed a new patent for VR controllers. Pictures in the Discord. You should join the Discord. Don't expect it anytime soon, but big keyword is rumors. Yeah, I think is that in our news stories, AJ? We'll get to that.
That's actually our next topic.
Oh,
next
excellent.
topic
Good
comes
timing.
to us from Cypher36 Vita. Excellent. Cool. So should I bring that picture up of the?
Yeah, man. Bring it up. But this was, I saw it through, of course, one of our, I think it was Senator, that pinged us on Twitter. But I got it from PlayStation Universe, and it says a new PSVR tracking controller for PS5 has revealed in a brand new patent published today by Sony Interactive Entertainment and unearthed by Let's Go Digital. Originally filed by SIE back in March 2020, the patent for an input device, which was lodged with the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Office, was finally published today on September 24th, 2020. And it's pretty cool. I mean, if you look at it, do you guys get a good look at this? I haven't read everything about it yet, but
yeah, dude,
it's interesting.
How much? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. How much does this remind you of a GameCube controller? That's why I love it immediately, because I'm just like, yes, this just looks so comfy and familiar.
I'm more, GameCube's cool and all, but I was more, looking at the. Now, obviously, we know about joysticks and stuff. We would expect joysticks.
I've heard of those.
But it does mention like there would be it says a PlayStation 5 VR tracking controller. And it has like a touchpad, it has hand tracking, it has inside out tracking. I don't know if it has hand tracking. Like I think maybe it was like finger, like maybe kind of finger sensors. Inside out tracking. And of course, they say it's like an Oculus looking bar for better tracking.
Yeah, it's actually the ring. You can see that. I think those dots on the patent. I don't know if Brian has it up on the screen, but those dots are IR sensors. I'm pretty sure that's how the Quest does inside-out tracking. So I'm pretty sure that's what those little dots are. It looks a lot like kind of a mix between the touch controllers and like the. Well, kind of a GameCube controller, but as far as VR stuff goes, the Knuckles controllers is what it reminds me of, because it's got that thing that kind of goes over your hand like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting they said Quest. It definitely looks more like the Knuckles.
Well, and I think also the finger tracking you're talking about, the Knuckles use some kind of similar layout to do their finger tracking. I don't know if it's camera tracked or I think it's controller tracked. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody in chat will probably tell me I'm wrong, but it looks like a good controller. I mean, that's all I'll say. I like the look.
What I'll say is that we've seen a lot of patents, right, over the years. We've seen a lot of stuff. We saw one that looked like an aim controller, like the back of the aim controller with an analog stick and then the buttons all around it. We've seen that demonstration where it was like somebody was holding something and there was a big block sticking out of it, which I assume was the IR sensors, and it was doing great finger tracking and blah 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 whatever. And that was sort of a weird little tech demo. Obviously, there's nothing they could ever sell. This, to me, the reason I'm excited about this patent specifically is because it looks like everything we've seen, but sort of smushed together into something that Sony would actually release and sell. It looks like a final product. Nothing else we've seen so far looked like something that they'd actually push out onto the market. And this looks like everything we've seen together culminated into a very sleek controller. This thing is fucking ready, man. Ship it. Make it, ship it. I'll buy it.
Wait, hold it. Slow down.
No. I want it now.
We need the headset first, because inside out tracking is not going to work unless you got cameras on your headset.
Need a headset. I just want the controllers.
Obviously, these are just patents. These are just what they've been tinkering with. This does not mean in any way, shape, or form that this is what it's going to be or anything like that. This is just what they're tinkering with. So this could mean nothing at all. It could mean a lot. It could mean nothing. The cool part to me is that we finally got to look at controllers. Like, we haven't seen much of anything on controllers yet. So it's nice to see finally, like you said, there's like something something to actually see kind of where they're at in this process. So I'm still really hoping, that we hear something more towards like early 2021. But yeah, I think it's a lot easier to kind of predict, for me anyways. It's kind of a lot easier to predict what the headset's going to be like. Probably at least 1080p, maybe 2K resolution, 120 frames per second, because the current headset is already 120 frames per second. And then yeah, and just certain things, lighter and HDR, probably things like that. But the controllers, I've like no idea how they're going to do tracking, how they're going to do any of that other stuff.
I like the Sin Studios here in the chat. It says, "Those black dots could be for infrared, for camera tracking."
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
What up, Sin?
I'm just happy he's here. What's up, dude?
Yeah. But that is it for the PS5 related news today. That's just what's going on, the latest and greatest. Really excited. We're only 30 days? No, how many days away are we? More than 30 days, but
what are we looking for?
A month and a half.
Month and a half.
PlayStation
Let's just
5.
call it a month and a half. Yeah, PS5 is right around the corner. Of course, I expect a lot of you guys to be holding off, but we'll be covering it day one because we all pre-ordered one. And yeah, we'll be showing off all the VR features. We'll become a PS4 and PS5 channels.
As long as
we're all doing unboxing videos. I'm putting Brian and AJ on the hook for this. We're all doing our own unboxing videos, and we have to unbox it different ways. We have to make sure they're all totally separate.
I'm gonna use
I'm gonna use a chainsaw.
Ooh.
What are you gonna use, AJ?
To open it?
You could just use the letter opener because we got chainsaw and tongues. So,
Dave, I think we should combine our videos and see if we can open each other's boxes and not cross the chainsaws and tongues.
There
that would
we
be
go.
Interesting. And we'll also see if Amazon delivers, because I think a bunch of us got that email from Amazon saying, "Dude, you might be SOL on release day delivery because we got a ton of pre-orders for this thing."
That sucks.
We'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens.
I'm surprised Walmart hasn't canceled mine yet. Everybody was saying Walmart was going to cancel pre-orders, but luckily I have no email about that yet. So,
that's really interesting.
Good to go.
Let's hope they don't do that.
Yeah.
What's next on the list, AJ?
So, Solaris, I believe, is out today. I think
it is. I saw people playing it online. Drew played it. Gamertag played it. I saw like
on
3 or
which
4 people
platforms
streaming it.
I saw VR Grid playing
Quest on Quest.
There we go.
Probably.
Right. Thank you. But yeah, the reason I mentioned it is because they also brought up a new trailer for it, and I just wanted to say that it looked a lot more polished than what we saw. I think it was during like an upload showcase, maybe. It was, it was looking really bare bones at that point, but I watched the Ryan from the VR Grid play it a little bit. Okay, no, they're right. I will be opening mine with the Buster Sword.
Of course.
That is
correct.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Honestly, the chat's going crazy.
Dude, the PS5 is so big, you kind of have to open it with a Buster Sword.
They should put a Buster Sword in every box.
It's big.
Yes. No purchase necessary.
Oh my God.
Details later. But this game is looking pretty cool. Obviously I don't know like a whole lot about it yet, but I watched, like I said, Ryan from the VR Grid play some, and it's looking like pretty nice, fast paced and polished, and yeah, just really excited to get this game later on in a few months.
So I'm kind of excited about the later on part, because what it launched with today on Quest is not a $25 game's worth. They're calling it a pre-season, and in the pre-season there is no matchmaking with your friends. You can't invite, you can't make lobbies. You just hit play and you get thrown into a random match, and that's all you can do. There are also no loadouts, customization, depth, anything to unlock. It's just, here's where you go shoot guys, go shoot guys. And from what I've seen, I don't think it's a $25 package yet or a firewall killer yet, because there's a lot of depth to firewall that people are going to look at this and say, wait, I can't even set up a lobby with my friends? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's crazy. So I hope that by the time it gets to PSVR, they've figured that stuff out and they've added more to it, so it's worth $25, and people will be excited to play, because if it launched today on PSVR and it was just random matches, I think the community would be fairly upset about that.
Yeah, it needs matchmaking for sure. Matchmaking, that was the only thing that Drew told me that I was like, ooh, it definitely needs, it's going to need matchmaking. Absolutely.
I saw Drew playing. He was a little kind to it based on what I saw, but I didn't play it, so it's probably more fun to play than it is to look at.
Usually things tend to be. Do you think the preseason is just there term for early access. I feel like when
I
this thing
think it
gets
is.
more fleshed out. I mean, Firewall launched at $40, right? So it was even at launch, it was a more fleshed out, fuller experience. I mean, based
Yeah.
simply on their pricing model, which was successful for them. So I figured they'd follow suit with that. I'm wondering if when this thing hits PSVR, if we're gonna be looking at another like $35-$40 game, something like that.
We might be, honestly, because who knows how much they're going to add. Justin saying invites and lobbies are their first big update. Maps and map variations seem like something they need to work on very quickly because the other downside that I heard from everybody was like, there's 3 maps that I've played and they all look basically the same. They all have that really low kind of design, just like white walls, angles, little short kind of paintball style cover spots and stuff like that. But it's like a laser tag level. So
Right.
the stage itself is very nondescript. It's just like sci-fi, you know, sanitized, very clean looking walls and stuff, and that's it.
Grid says
Um,
it's definitely light on content. Yeah,
yeah.
I could see that. That's usually how a lot of stuff hits, PC Quest first, early access, and then usually when it comes to us though, it's like this fully fleshed out, finished product. So, but it was still good to hear some pretty people having some good times. And from what I saw, I mean, I
Pretty
like.
people having
Yeah,
some good times.
we don't listen to ugly
Yeah.
people's opinions.
Drew, Ryan from VR Grid, all these are very pretty people.
They don't get
You
much
guys
prettier.
have seen them. You've seen them.
Yeah.
Very
I've had a
handsome folks.
long
Who's a
week,
pretty
gentlemen.
Who's
There's been like 7 games with all different. Just lots. My brain is melted,
Dude,
Um,
I'm right there with you. What is wrong with us today?
yeah.
Oh, too many games at once, man. Look, I love video games to death for life, but when there's like 5-6 games you got to play in the span of a few days. I mean, Operencia was. I didn't even finish Operencia. I was 30 hours into it when I got when I got the key for budget cuts.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like I didn't even get around to it till yesterday. And
Yeah, and it's
Speaking
gonna
of-
take me forever to finish Minecraft. It's gonna be so
Yeah,
long to finish Minecraft.
yeah,
Right.
we got tons of games to talk about.
Speaking of keys,
but-
I just want to give a shout out to Preston Kohler with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. He says, "Should I buy Until You Fall or Swordsman VR?" Because of how things work, it seems like we're not getting keys for Until You Fall until after the game is out. So we can put that one off to the side a little bit. Although Dave does have some insider information on that because he's played it on another platform.
I've played both of them on other platforms, and from what I've played of Swordsman VR on PSVR, I think that Until You Fall will be an easier port to nail, and I think it'll capture more of the original experience that I enjoyed about Until You Fall on PC. Whereas I'll get to it later, but Swordsman VR, I think, and I hate to say this because I'm the last guy to harp on us not having thumbsticks, but honestly, it makes the game a lot harder. Whereas Until You Fall, movement and sticks is not really as much of an issue. It's more stationary. I think that it will end up playing better on PSVR than Swordsman, but they're both good games, and we'll talk about them, plenty on this channel.
I have not played Until You Fall yet, so yeah, no idea yet.
Until You Fall also has just like an awesome art style. It's so colorful; it just like pops out at you. It's really unique.
I can't wait to see that in the
That will
headset.
draw some people in. Yeah, it looks great.
Because
Yeah,
the trailers, I'm like, oh, this is cool. They went like fucking crazy neon and a little bit psychedelic, sometimes in the headset, that's when I start appreciating those things. In the trailer, I'm just like, all right, cool. That's like a Photoshop filter, like a really cool Photoshop filter. All right, what's our next news story, AJ?
So, Pistol Whip has announced their Heartbreaker update release date for coming to PSVR October 5th. So, I mean, this week has been crazy. Next week's going to be a little bit easier, but it's still going to be really busy with Squadrons and Walking Dead Onslaught. But yeah, Pistol Whip Heartbreaker update October 5th. But that's not all, guys.
That's not all.
They also showed off today. Denny Unger posted on Twitter a look at their newest update that's going to be coming later, entitled 2089, and it's a futuristic looking thing. Brian's playing it in the corner, luckily, so you can see it down there.
The
But
cool thing about this one is it's not just like 5 stages. They're all interconnected by some kind of narrative. I don't know what it is, but it's like a campaign of 5 levels as a separate free, I assume, because all their stuff's free add-on. And that's a cool idea because Pistol Whip obviously lends itself to that sort of cinematic kind of John Wick kind of feeling. And so if they try to filter that down into an actual thematic experience where all 5 of these stages play off each other and build, and it's sort of like a progression, that could be really cool. And I'm surprised, like, when Beat Saber released a new song pack, it's just new songs. This is something different. It's not just new songs. It's a whole new like approach to the game inside of it. So
Ashley
I'm excited.
Samuels says Magic Sword. That's who the music is by.
Magic Sword.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with it. I'll have to check it out. But when I streamed this game last, I was like, where is the Terminator pack? I want Terminator. I want, they've got Cyberpunk. They've got all this John Wick. They've got all this stuff. I was like, I want the Terminator pack. And yeah, this looks like, I don't know. And I just like how everything looks a little bit like different style. Something about it looks a little bit different. Maybe it's just the enemies are just slightly different and stuff, but kind of enough for me. I'm excited for this.
I'm curious about the new weapons. That's something I would love if Beat Saber started including in their DLC packs. Where, hey, here's a different type of saber. Like here's something that looks cooler, even if it doesn't do anything differently. Just give me some cosmetic changes as far as those are concerned, rather than just changing the color. We're actually going to have like futuristic guns. I'm like, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Can you imagine playing rum and bass with like swashbuckling style sabers or something like that? That'd be kind of fun.
Absolutely. Yep. So yeah, very cool, man. Pistol Whip is the game that keeps on giving. I'm sorry, when did you say Heartbreaker's coming out? That's early next month?
October 5th. Oof. Next week. No.
Right after Squadrons.
Is it next week?
Yeah.
It's week after next.
No, week after next.
It's just never ending, guys. It's never ending.
It's the 5th is Monday, the week after next.
Okay.
We got 2 more tips actually coming in here. One from Anakin, 224 says, "This equals the amount of money I saved from y'all's thumbs down to Gunjack on sale." Praying hands, thank you. Yeah, skip on the Gunjack. That's you don't need that one. And then Preston Kohler, is this the same guy? $2, and he says, Swordsman VR or Until You Fall, which I think we've already answered that, so I think we can move on. We don't know yet. We haven't played Until You Fall on PSVR.
We'll keep delivering the information as we're able to give it to you. How about that? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listening to a little bit of Magic Sword, it's as what I expected. Sounds pretty cool. Kind of synth wavy, kind of John Carpenter-y, kind of Carpenter Brute.
I like that.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of hoping for. All right. So, Brian, you alerted me earlier about an email that you got.
Yeah. You want to tell people about that email as I bring up the trailer for the game?
Ooh, what's in that email?
In that email, Brian told me that Mortal Blitz is going to be coming October 5th as well. Same day as the Pistol Whip update.
What?
Mortal Blitz Combat Arena, I should say.
Can we get a break? Like, what is happening?
Well, luckily,
it's like they designed this just to screw content creators over.
Luckily, it's free to play. There is a paid version that's gonna have a few more features, and so it sounds like if everything goes according to plan, then they're gonna send me the paid version, and so I'll be able to check that out and see for you guys if it's worth actually paying for Combat Arena, and that'll be sort of like the foundation of the review. Let's see if it's worth paying for, because I mean, obviously anyone can jump in and check it out for free. This was a lot of fun though. When we had it, when we had the beta, even though it only had one map, it was a lot of fun. I think we all had major, like minor issues with it. It would just be like, oh, if they just tweak this and tweak that, it could be a whole lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, I had a blast with this game.
I had fun with it. The only problem is I never really ran into a good challenge for it. Like, I think, okay, no, that's not true. I think I had 1 or 2 matches, but that's like 1 or 2 matches out of like a ton.
Yeah.
That, I did like an hour or 2 live stream where I didn't even lose, and it was like not even close. It was like 16 and
All right, everybody knows you're
streaming
good at
one.
games, AJ.
No, I'm
Come
just
on.
saying.
We know.
That's not a game problem.
I'm just
That's
saying
a
I haven't
you
been
problem.
tested. Somebody
That's
test
a
me.
you problem, AJ. That's not a game
Somebody
problem.
test me in that game.
Well, that's probably also because you couldn't matchmake in that game either, right?
Well, now,
It was all
yeah.
just a random.
Yeah, it
lobby.
was. Yeah, I expect this one to have. Brian, did they say there's like any? They mentioned any updated features?
I don't know. So the problem is, and I don't want to harp on anybody here that was that's trying to just do their job in a different language, but it's not quite translated as well as I would have liked. And so trying to decipher like what exactly is in the paid version, exactly what is in the not paid version. It's I mean I can kind of give you an idea here of what was said.
So you're saying the features are split? Like it's not just you get some tokens to use for cosmetic items or weapon upgrades or something. Like it's different features in the paid version? Because that sounds like a good way to split a player base
Yeah.
into there's only free people playing and like 5 guys who paid for it.
Yeah,
Like,
like so they're saying parts that would need payment are like random matchmaking, which I find strange. You can't just jump in and like
wait, the random matchmaking was the only thing they had for the free.
well,
That
that
doesn't
was the
make sense.
beta. So
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
so I mean, whatever. I don't make games. And again, I'm trying to decipher this email, so I'm doing the best I can. There's also an arena pack, so it very well could be that the extra maps are literally only for paid
Paid.
players. Yep, and then customized weapons. That's the only thing they list as far as the paid stuff. It doesn't. It also doesn't say what how much it's going to cost.
That doesn't bode well at all to me. I mean, locking content off for only people who pay for it on a free game that has the very surface level of depth that that game has.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's going to play it for free and be like, "Oh, this isn't good enough. I need to buy this to." And then when you do, there's going to be very few people who've actually made the same purchase, and you've just locked yourself into a much smaller player base.
I think the good thing is there's going to be bots. So even if this game struggles with online, I was really interested to play against the bots, and there is this other environment that they show. I actually really liked the level that they had, but it was just one level, so it was like kind of it was a beta, of course. But if you examine the level, it actually looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Because seriously, if this is like if to upgrade the free to play version to the paid version, if it's like $5, then it's like whatever, man. Just like I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's all do that and let's all go play for a couple days and get our $5 worth. But the problem is if they try to sell this for $20 and it still is very, very bare bones, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see what happens. But that's not very far away, so I guess we're gonna find out really soon.
Yeah,
very exciting. Shout out to Steven Darvis for the $10 donation. Thank you very much, sir. He writes, I feel guilty watching for all these years for free. Don't feel guilty, man. Thanks for all the news and great recommendations. And while we're at it, let's also give a shout out to Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the £5 donation saying, I might bankrupt my bank after all these purchases on the store. Sorry, wife and kids. Sorry, wife and kids. So thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate all the donations, keeping this channel running. You guys are awesome. All right, time to move on to the next news story. AJ?
Got an email from Strange Games Studios that gave us an update on RC Airplane Challenge. I played this game actually a long time ago, but it was so early. So I wish I could give you better impressions. But it was so long ago, and from the gameplay that he showed, it looked much different. But he's got some updates for us, and some good, some bad. The good, of course, is saying that
I hear it too, Brian.
Okay, yeah, AJ, you're crackling or something. Something's going on over there.
Hold, please.
Hold, please. While AJ is correcting his audio issues, I would just like to say, look at this trailer, man, or look at this gameplay footage in the corner. I don't really know how I don't know how fun this game is going to be, but look how detailed that ground is. I love nothing more than seeing individual blades of grass when the plane is taking off or flying close to the ground, and that looks really, really cool, man. I'm very excited to. It sounds simple, man, but we don't have enough flying games in VR.
Am I still crackling?
You sound good to me.
So he's added multiplayer support for 16v16 dogfighting, is the good news. He also added support for the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTUS 4, which everybody's probably picking up now for
Way too
squadrons.
much
Yeah, yeah, those are going. But he says they did run into a couple issues during the QA process, so it is being delayed. So he's going to be doing some more work on this, but that's not all, guys. He said also they're moving forward with a game that they should be making an announcement about pretty soon. And I don't know how much we can say here, Brian. Can we give a hint of what kind of game?
The hint is it's all my fault.
The hint is Brian's fault. So the hint, yeah. So Strange Game Studio is beginning work on a horror game. So
and
yeah, because Brian.
And apparently I'm consulting on this. Reggie and I spent some serious time on the phone a couple times talking about, like, you know, what kind of story, what kind of script is necessary, what kind of things do we look for in horror games, and so we've talked quite a bit about the things that I'm looking for and the things that excite me when I play a horror game. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully we'll have some updates on what Reggie's doing there.
It's going to be great because the thing that excites me about a horror game is being able to dual wield with my aim controller and my move controller, and then be able to switch to DualShock 4 to get in a Jeep, and then shoot out of the Jeep with my aim controller while I'm holding the DualShock 4. You know how Reggie does it.
We don't have any horror games that have aim support. I think we need them.
It was a joke, but yeah. Yeah, and so he's got his RC flight game coming out really soon too, doesn't he?
Yep.
Like the next month or two?
That's the one.
Or no,
well, no, that's
did he
the one
push it to
delayed.
PS5? He pushed it to PS5. You're right. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so just an update from Strange Game Studios. Oh, there he is. It says Strange Game Studios says, go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
Speak of the devil.
What's up, Rich?
Yeah.
But
I'll say I read the script without giving anything away. I don't want to spoil anything at all, and I don't think I'm probably at liberty to talk about it. But I did read the script, and I give it a thumbs up, man. I give it a thumbs up. Reggie listened to everything I've ever said about any horror game over the last few years, and he was like, all right, here you go. And I was like, oh, look, somebody listens. It's nice for a change. Sony. H. Hamblin 23 asked, is Minecraft going to be in VR for PlayStation? It's out. It came out, what, Tuesday? Tuesday. It's already out, man. That day is missing from my
free
memory.
Update.
I don't know.
Just a regular $20 Minecraft has it. So the final piece of news, I can't wait to see what the horror game is. And yeah, the latest footage of RC Airplane looks pretty damn good, actually. It looks really polished. But in the final news story of the day, we got an article from the PS blog talking about Sniper Elite VR. I cannot stress to everybody how excited I am for this game. This, I know like PC side is getting this Medal of Honor game that looks fantastic. Well, I love to see this, the Sniper Elite VR game. And they gave us an in-depth look, and they basically shared 7 new things about Sniper Elite VR. 7 facts. So we'll break them down really quick. We'll fly through this. But yeah, there's a new gameplay trailer. If you haven't seen it, Brian's, I think, actually putting it on in the bottom left corner.
Is this the one that we showed before? Is this from today?
No, it's the same one.
Okay, good. then yes, this is the correct trailer.
I think this game looks freaking awesome. Yeah, so first of all, it is in first person. It says all first person. Sniper Elite VR will be the first exclusively first person entry in the Sniper Elite series.
I mean, that's not totally true, right? It's also bullet person occasionally.
That is true. That is one of these points.
Sometimes you ride the bullet, and so it has to leave first person.
Yeah.
So it's bullet person. Where's Bel Ramio? I need to be replaced now.
So they also mentioned truly elite sniping. They said we've got the best in class scope occlusion and zoom mechanics that feel extremely realistic. You'll feel like you're staring down the sight of a real sniper rifle. Sniper Elite VR offers fantastic, thrilling test of your long range skills. So your long range skills will be tested. Though they did show in this trailer, as you can see, there's like dual wielding guns and stuff like that. So it's not going to be just limited to sniping, but I'm sure that's going to be a heavy focus of it.
Yeah. And again, for any game that has a full campaign that uses the aim controller, I'm already very interested in. In having a sniper rifle that works this well is going to be great. As I already played at PAX, it felt great. It looked great. Just being able to hold that aim controller up and being able to look down the scope. I mean, it's exactly what you want it to look like and feel like.
So you played with the aim controller, Brian. Mm-hmm. However, that's not the only option.
Oh no!
We preach options around here. This is probably one of the best moves for this game can make. They say we know different players prefer different ways to traverse landscapes in virtual reality. Sniper Elite VR offers both free movement and teleport movement options, and plenty of options to help ensure the game feels comfortable to play, whether you're seated or standing up. And it will feature move support and aim support, and I think DualShock as well.
That's great, man. That's great because so many games that have aim support just skip move support for some reason. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Yes, I mean we just saw it with Minecraft. Everybody was kind of disappointed about the no moves, which we'll get into. But you can see how important it is. When Borderlands 2 first came out, everybody was like, "Give us aim support," and they eventually did. And I agree. I think with such a limited, with such a smaller install base, I think it's best to try and please as many people as possible with as many options as possible. Smooth locomotion, teleport, and then whatever controllers you can make work.
You know, I was with Duran fan. I thought you were leading up to 3D rudder. That's what you were leading up to. You can control this so many different ways, and the best thing they ever decided to do was 3D rudder support.
I'll be honest with you. I don't see 3D rudder getting anything else.
Probably not.
I don't think they're doing too hot. I don't know for sure. Maybe they are, but I don't know. I haven't heard from them in a while. We haven't heard any games being supported lately. So who knows? I have no idea.
Man, it's funny. I don't know if this is what Seymour Gamecast actually meant with his comment saying y'all ready to stare down a shaky ass sniper. Hopefully this isn't killing floors, sniping missions. The game. My issue is that like I drink too much coffee and I'm like running on caffeine the whole time. So I'm going to be the shaky ass sniper. I'm going to be like, okay, I got you. Stand still, or maybe move around with my shakiness, and we can work this out together somehow. I'm gonna be a mess. Does Metal Gear Solid missions like on the first Metal Gear Solid when you first meet Sniper, was it Sniper Wolf?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey guys, real quick, it's almost time for me to bounce. I got to go to my work call.
All right,
I wanted to say on this subject, I think that those 7 points that they hit, which we haven't gone all the way through yet, I think they said everything people needed to hear. Like when I read through that, I was like, okay, no concerns. This sounds great. And really, they just checked all the boxes. You know, locomotion options, controller options. The game is still a full Sniper Elite game, just like you want it. And it sounds like it's going to be awesome. But it is 7, so I got to bounce. And I will be back when I can.
All right, so we'll see you in a bit. Drive safe.
Keep on keeping on. Catch you guys later.
All right.
Wait, did you still want me to do that thing where I join but just turn my camera off?
Yeah,
or whatever?
This is perfect, just like this. Thank you.
I guess I should turn it off then. Yeah.
See you, bud. They also mentioned a full single-player campaign. Sniper Elite VR is designed to keep you entertained for many hours. The story campaign takes you to the heart of World War II and the same time period as featured in Sniper Elite 4. For those who played Sniper Elite 4, same time period as that. You are a new hero in a brand new story as you fight as part of the Italian resistance against fascist occupation. And there's like tons more details in this article, but I'm just kind of skimming over the headlines.
Yeah, skim away.
But I really, story-driven campaign sounds great. And one thing they showed in this trailer seemed like a good bit of locations, which I was really happy to see. I was kind of worried it was all going to look like that first area. Remember how long they showed that first area? Just that one?
That was it. It was it. It's like
the one you played.
The one I played. Yeah, right. So we were seeing these things in the trailer, and then when I finally get into the game, I was like, sweet, I can't wait to see what I'm going to see. And I'm like, oh, I get to see the stuff from the trailer. But in VR. That was definitely, if you guys are familiar with the term vertical slice, that was obviously the thing that they were working on, just going hard into this one section of the game, trying to like really give people an idea of what the final game is going to be like, whereas like the rest of the game probably didn't even exist at that point. So it is, yeah, I'm 100% there with you, AJ. I'm really happy to see all these new environments and weapons and everything, enemy types.
Yep. And then it says feature full Sniper Elite gameplay. So it's going to have a lot of the same stuff. If you're familiar with the game itself, it says Sniper Elite fans will instantly recognize the core gameplay that they know and love from the series. You'll be able to use sound masking, set traps, create distractions, and perform stealth and melee kills. You'll set your sights on a variety of targets, including frontline soldiers, officers, snipers, tanks, and patrol boats. And as you progress through the campaign, you'll be able to master your weapons and fine-tune a diverse arsenal of World War II armaments.
I just like the idea of distractions. Be like, look, it's a bunny. Like, oh, look at the cute bunny. Boom, boom, boom.
I've never seen somebody throw a bunny as a distraction, but but I would be distracted.
If you're out there, Rebellion, listening, bunnies. We need little fluffy bunnies as distractions.
And finally, number 7, the kill cam returns, adapted for VR. It says one thing you won't have seen in the gameplay trailer, but you may be excited to learn. Sniper Elite VR delivers the iconic X-ray kill cam, now adapted for virtual reality. We're really proud of the work we've done to ensure it delivers that bone-shattering, organ-piercing drama in VR while remaining a completely comfortable experience. And as ever, it's a completely optional thing if it's just not for you. Again, with the options.
If it's not for you, why are you playing it? No, I'm kidding. It could get old after a while, man. I've never actually played through an entire Sniper Elite game before. That could be one of those things where I'm like, come on, just get on with the game. It was cool, the first couple times, but then now I just want to get on with it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm assuming I'm going to have it on the entire time, but anything's possible.
But yeah, that's it for the article. There's a couple more things. They just basically said, we know loads of you have been waiting very patiently for Sniper Elite VR. We've been working closely with our friends at Just Add Water in these extraordinary times to get it into your hands and onto your headsets. I hope to have more news for you about that soon. So keep your eyes peeled, but most of all, stay safe. So obviously they've been dealing with a lot of what's going on, and they've been doing stuff around it, having to probably work from home a good bit and stuff. And that likely is why we kind of, they were kind of MIA for a while. But this is like a AAA looking World War II game. This is a big deal to me, man. This is a really big deal to me.
I mean, Rebellion has been making awesome games for so long. Like, I don't think we shouldn't take this lightly at all. This is a huge deal, man. Like, I mean, we've been begging for more AAA games, and I really think that this could very well be one of the next big ones on the horizon. I want a release date. I just need to know, man. I just need to plan my life a little bit better.
No release date yet, but I'm thinking, they had the trailer pop up. I think it was on PlayStation. So I don't know. I mean, this could be one that hits us right after we get through this wave. The only reason people aren't going super crazy about this just yet is because they haven't even had a chance to go crazy for all the games coming out in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I assure you that as soon as we get by those, after we spend tons of time with those, this game is going to be a huge deal. And yeah, I couldn't be more excited. This is definitely like one of my most anticipated games coming out.
Are we talking about Onslaught at all today, or is it just we don't?
We absolutely can.
Well, no,
do what you want, man.
I was just curious. I didn't know if that was on your run of show, because if it is, I would have waited. But
I like how you're asking me now.
Yeah.
I like how you're straining it by me. Like, can we talk about that? No, I don't have that planned.
You sent me the email, but then I'd have to read and look at it and go through, and I don't know. But yeah, no. So just real quick, you were saying we got all these other things that we're going to be distracted with for a while. I interviewed Andrew over at Servios, and I'm going to have that developer interview hopefully up on the channel on Saturday morning. And I mean, everything he was saying was super, super promising about Onslaught. I felt bad for kind of like laying into him about the differences between the Onslaught and Saints and Sinners, but I thought it was like an important thing for people to know. And it sounds like the campaign is going to be a similar length to Saints and Sinners. Like if it took you 10 hours, it might take you 10 hours to finish Onslaught, but their QA team is saying anywhere between 10 and 15 hours for the Onslaught campaign. And he goes into so much detail about how the campaign works and sort of how the game opens up as you progress. And I really, really can't wait for you guys to see that interview Saturday morning. Andrew was just an awesome dude to talk to. I love those people over at Servios. They're amazing.
Yeah, really, really excited about that one too. I know virtually nothing about it, other than the little tidbits that you told me. Basically, that 10 to 15. I want to be surprised, but it definitely is nice to hear that this could be the game we're hoping for.
Right, the $30 price tag is strangely scary. Like when somebody goes, "Here's this big game that you've been waiting for," and you expect it to be like 40 or 50 bucks, and then it's 30. You're like, with a launch discount. I hate saying it that way, but there's a little piece of me that goes, "Oh, maybe it's not as big as I think it is. Maybe they're pricing it to be a smaller game," and it sounds like it's really a really, really full-fledged game, and I'm very excited for it.
Very good.
That's it, man. That's it. I got nothing else. That was my sidetrack for the day.
I don't mind if you do that, but you should put the trailer on.
You're
in the bottom left so that
You're a pain in the ass. Dude, I didn't even want to look through the email to see if we were going to talk about Onslaught. You wanted me to change the trailer? Wow.
I would love to talk about Onslaught. Look, Zane E's like, talk about Onslaught. But the trailer, it's just weird.
Can we talk about cats instead?
Oh my God.
Let's just talk about Tornado.
X-Layerful. Yeah, you don't have to tell us about Servios. We know, man. I mean, the Sniper Elite have multiplayer. The Sniper Elite VR have multiplayer. It doesn't actually mention anything about multiplayer yet.
I don't think it does.
I would guess no, because honestly, for the last 3 years, every time a game, they've always talked about all these different games and they'd release them and people be like, this is amazing. Does it have multiplayer? And every time you say multiplayer, developers kind of like curl up into a ball and turn black and just die. There's something about multiplayer making especially I don't know. There's something about multiplayer that is really hard for a lot of VR developers. Maybe that's just something that hasn't been fully fleshed out, figured out yet.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, obviously, it takes balancing and it takes a lot of work to make sure that your game works with multiplayer. So if you're super focused on making an awesome single player experience, we forget that these VR teams aren't nearly as big as the huge non-VR teams, that we were used to a few years ago. There's very, very frequently 15 people making a game, and to have those people start getting separated into, okay, now you're going to work on the online multiplayer, and you're going to work on the co-op, and you're going to work on the versus mode in the deathmatch, and it's like, well, whoa, let's get the fucking story campaign. Let's get the single player shit working first. And I think that's what's happening to a lot of teams, especially now with COVID, where you have to like dial it back a little bit and be like, okay, what do we actually have time for before this launches? And actually, that's kind of what it sounded like Andrew was talking about with Onslaught as well.
I like how Strange Game Studios just says LOL. I don't know what it is, man. I mean, for some reason, he just knows like the secret sauce. He knows like the net coding or something in his brain, because, yeah, I mean, you've got all these developers that struggle with this, and then you got Strange Game Studios that makes a 32-person multiplayer game, and the next one being 16v16, and it's pretty crazy.
I just wanted you guys to see Tornado is like just sitting just out of frame.
But yeah, I'm mostly excited to play this with the aim controller, of course. When he was mentioning the shakiness, I was thinking maybe he's talking about maybe tracking stuff, but I don't really have a lot of tracking issues with the aim controller unless the battery gets low.
Super silky smooth, especially with the right developer. Impulse Gear killed it. That feels so responsive in Farpoint.
Yes.
Right, it's like one-to-one, absolutely perfect. A lot of other games, it feels a little bit sluggish. I don't know if some developers try to add weight to it, but man, no. The aim controller should be absolutely perfect. Shouldn't be shaky at all.
Nice. Yeah, I think so too. By the end of Farpoint, I was having to shake my gun a lot, or turn it off, turn it on, or shake it and stuff. But that was like when I was a VR newbie. I was still kind of learning the ropes of how to deal with stuff like this.
Yeah, good point. Every so often you
We've
gotta
all
do
been there.
the shake.
Yeah.
You're camping in Firewall and your gun starts drifting and you're like, don't anyone come around the corner while I'm doing this.
All right, so this brings us though. Like I said, super excited for Sniper Elite. Can't wait to see more. And everybody excited for Onslaught. Make sure you tune in Saturday. You said you're gonna have that interview up with Onslaught.
Yeah, probably super early Saturday morning, to be honest, like 4 a.m. Eastern, because then I don't want it to interfere with my Saturday morning live stream, which I'm finally getting back to this week after a couple weeks off. Apologize for that, guys. It's been crazy.
It'll be a great interview to have with my Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, I love Cocoa Puffs. Let me ask you this:
I don't eat cereal.
What you?
I don't eat breakfast actually. Really.
Why do you build me up?
So bad.
Build me up.
I know.
Just to let me
Buttercup.
Yeah, I love Cocoa Puffs. It's fucking Reese's Puffs might be the
Reese's Puffs. Yeah. Cookie Crisps.
And
Fuck now. What cereal? Lucky Charms.
Wait, what is this? You don't eat cereal? Can we talk about this for a second? What is going
on?
No,
I love cereal. I don't know. I just eat like a peanut butter sandwich for breakfast.
Were you allowed to eat sugary cereal?
PS5 is expensive, okay? It's a hard time.
Dude, it's ramen noodles and peanut butter over here too. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for the Campbell's chicken noodle soup. I appreciate it. Were you allowed to eat sugary cereals as a kid? I swear, we'll get off this topic in a second, but I need to know more about AJ.
This is, I don't know. I mean, I think so. I really don't know. I didn't eat a lot of cereal. Like, if anything, I used to eat cereal more like at night, more than I ate it during the day, like for breakfast.
Yeah,
I would eat it like definitely a lot more at night.
When I eat cereal at night, it's like I like literally those giant boxes of Cheerios. I just dump like half of it into a huge like salad bowl, like a mixing bowl, right? And I'm just like, and it's like 3 meals of cereal. Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones that are really good too. I just can't remember the names. Right. I love me some cereal. Look. I love me some cereal. No,
good.
Don't get that crossed.
All right, don't get it twisted. Dave's like, look what happens when I leave the show. Everything just falls apart. you know he's watching in the background, going, "This is chaos."
Oh man!
All right, man. What's our next? What are we talking about next?
So next, that's actually it for the news. Oh. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 5 releases. Actually, 6 releases coming out this week. One of them we're gonna have to wait for Dave. But yeah, Frosted Mini Wheats. Oh, I love Frosted Mini Wheats. But damn it, I'm gonna have like subliminal cereal popping into my head.
Dude, I fuck pizza tonight. I'm literally going to the convenience store and buying cereal.
Yeah.
That's what I want tonight.
What have I done? And drink the milk afterwards. All the flavor soaked up from
milk,
the cereal.
2%, 1%. What do you drink?
Cereal is great, you guys. Cereal's damn good.
Dude, when did Tornado get so big? She's taking up my entire desk right now. You got to slide back, buddy.
All right. Okay. So 6 releases this week. Absolutely crazy, man. Had to cram so many games. You know, it's easy to play a lot of games sometimes, but not in the short span of time. Like that's the one problem with this is I like to enjoy games. I don't like to be forced to like shove them into my brain like as fast as possible. I usually like to enjoy them. 30 hours of Operencia was tough enough, and then to have like 6 games after that.
They pile up, man. They pile up, and it's stressful. You're playing Operencia. Meanwhile, you've got a budget cuts key, and like you know, it's just that you don't have time to. You got to focus on one game at a time. And when all this shit happens, like there's just no time to focus at all. I hate it. I just want to kick back and enjoy these games. But luckily, most of them are pretty good.
So we're gonna start off because I want to try to, get Dave's opinion on some of these, especially the ones he's played. Robbie B I know we want to talk about Swordsman, but we're gonna wait for Dave to get back. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean it's not gonna be exciting, because No Man's Sky had the biggest update of the year, 10 gigabytes.
Whoa.
And it is, every single year around this time. Usually it happens like a month or two sooner, but, obviously just things are a little bit different. But No Man's Sky had the No Man's Sky Origins update, and it added a lot of new things, especially for people like me that love exploration, the thing that we got hooked on in No Man's Sky in the first place. Huge update, Brian. megaton.
So, AJ, I
Hey.
have to confess that with everything happening this week, the one thing I let slide was No Man's Sky Origins, because you're kind of the No Man's Sky guy, and I figured, you're going to be streaming it on your channel, and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to learn everything I need to know from AJ. So I'm sort of just handing this over to you. You got to tell me, man, what did they add? What was Origins all about?
Let me tell you, from an official Hello Games tweet, Brian, everything they added. Billions of new planets, a UI revamp, the main menu. Actually, I showed this off in my stream. The main menu and the selection screen and stuff looks different. It actually looks really nice now. It's got like a nice graphic and stuff with it. Binary stars, colossal buildings. So, did you ever run into like a trading outpost where you could land? And did you ever run into like something like that? A little outpost where it was just like there was like some landing pads. There's like little, Korvax or Gek or something there, and a merchant. Now they have like these huge buildings and structures. There's a little bit of pictures going around on them, and but that's not it. They added firestorms, volcanoes, which I ran into. I actually was one of the things I was searching for was volcanoes, and what I must say, it's not just one type of volcano, really. Like they're mostly similar, but there's actually different color volcanoes. Like I think it was Darwin's Eyeball was telling me he ran into a pink volcano, while I ran into a yellow and orange ones. And so if you come across a tectonic planet, it's pretty cool, man. There's like volcanoes everywhere.
Are they dangerous? Like, can you fly into the volcano? Are they all active? Or any of them not active? Are they shooting?
They're very active.
Are they spouting
explode.
lava? Yeah.
Yes, but I don't know about damage because because I climbed up and got right and looked into the volcano, but I didn't jump into it.
Okay.
Because I was trying not to lose my stuff. However, I did lose my stuff because, as GamerChick13 points out, there is lightning in the game now, and this was actually something that was awful that happened. I went to one of my extreme hazardous planets, and it now has lightning, and the lightning is very beautiful and all. However, the lightning killed me, and then I respawned, and it instantly killed me again, making me lose all my inventory. Luckily, my stuff in my cargo was safe. And when I got into my ship, it started striking my ship. And I don't know if this was a bug. I think it was a bug because I was actually like in a shelter, and it still killed me. I died more times in the span of 10, 15 minutes than I've died since I started playing this game in 2016.
Kate Fanick, the artist formerly known as GameCat, with a $3 donation says, "But did they add dolphins, AJ?"
There were no dolphins. There was a nice little like slightly different looking creatures, but no dolphins. I would love to see some dolphins. Can we get some dolphins in No Man's Sky, Sean Murray? Are you listening? I know he's not listening.
That's all AJ wants
the
to
dolphins
do is
would
swim
be
with
cool.
the dolphins.
And the hardcore No Man's Sky players know that they tease space whales all the time. I imagine, one day they're going to actually make space whales, I bet. If they haven't already. Now I'm kind of curious. I don't think they have.
I want to say it was Ian Higton over at Eurogamer posted an article about how they finally have sandworms in No Man's Sky now with Origins. Like in the picture he showed, or they showed, I'm not sure if this was Ian specifically, showed like giant sandworm creatures. Did you see anything like that? Anything that was just like ridiculous, over the top, and brand new?
And what now?
Eurogamer was showing off sandworms, saying like these giant sandworms that was like, straight out of Tremors. Right. Shooting out of the ground and stuff. Did you see anything giant like that? Anything brand new to you? Like that
within the first 20-30 minutes of my stream, I saw one of the sandworms. And yes, it is huge. And it just was like, it was so hard to find though. Like I never really saw it again. But no, there are massive sandworms just like going up into the air and then going back into the ground. And not only that, but there was like smaller fauna, is what they call the creatures. There were smaller creatures and stuff that were like jumping in and out of the ground like that, and they looked so cool. And one of the differences, like before, you would see like 2 or 3 different animals, right? Well, now there's like herds of them. I mean, there was, and that goes for the flora as well, not just the animals. But yeah, there was like herds of these things jumping out of the ground. Dude, it was such a cool experience, man. It was so amazing. Um, but yes, I did, to answer your question, I did see a giant sandworm.
Now they call this Origins for a reason, right? I feel like they're trying to deliver on all the promises that they didn't deliver on back at launch. Sort of like
Right.
the trailers and stuff they showed off that with the creatures that never actually showed up in the game. Do you feel like this finally delivers on that promise?
Um, I I haven't I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, sandworms is really the only thing. There was a lot of like creatures floating in the sky and stuff that were massive. And I think this delivers partially on that original promise.
Mm-hmm.
They've already delivered on some of that other promise from multiplayer. There was supposed to be multiplayer at launch. That wasn't a thing. There was supposed to be deep exploration. They've expanded the exploration here. So to me, that is awesome. That is part of the promise. They're constantly, what is it, every it's almost like every month now they're doing this. There's some kind of major update. The work they're doing, man, really, really, it's just amazing work. But yeah, they made like huge structures and lots of things. So NPCs on planets now walking around. They said it improved clouds. I don't think this affected VR very much. The clouds didn't look very good in VR. They're like little blurry blobs.
Yeah.
And they did say new fauna. So when I spawned in, there was like a goldfish, like right up in my face when I first started playing. And there was something really cool that I think you would maybe think is cool, or most people would. There's bioluminescent flora. So like I landed on a planet, and the grass was like pulsing and like glowing. The mushrooms were like glowing. Like it would like slowly pulse. So you land on it, it would look normal, and then it would just be like wow, and like wow, and yeah, it was really cool. They expanded kind of the color palette too. There was red grass, pink grass, kind of almost like pastel colors now.
It's fantastic.
Getting ready for Easter.
A little early. Scott Jesko, PSN Harry Fellow, the PSVR Game Cat for Life, with the $4.99 quid donation saying, "Hi gentlemen, hi Game Cats, at work per usual, watch when I get home. What spooky game are you looking forward to playing this Halloween season?" Meow. Sorry, I didn't actually realize there was a question mixed in there to derail us, but I don't mind being derailed for a second. Thank you so much, future Scott Jesko, who's watching this later on. Appreciate your donation. I gotta be honest, man. We didn't. I don't think we have an actual release date for the Dollhouse, which is the Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion DLC. That might be October 1st. I think it might be October 1st, but it might just be October. I'd have to check out their Twitter account. And I am just looking so much forward to diving back into Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, and any excuse to play that game. And of course, the perfect time, Halloween season.
Yeah, there's also going to be the Gauntlet coming to
Affected the Manor.
I'm hoping we certainly get some new games. I think, do we have a pizza bet on Folia Dear Father?
If there's not, we should. I'll listen. If David Moore's around, I'll make an official pizza bet with you right here and now, my friend, and say that Folia Dear Father is going to be on PlayStation VR by the end of this year. I don't want to say.
I thought you were going to say October.
Will you take the before the end of this year bet?
That's a little tricky. I will take that bet, actually. Yeah? I will take that bet. Yeah, Dave Moore, mark it down.
That's good, because I would have totally folded and been like, okay, I'll put the bet for October. Actually, let's make it more fun. Let's make it way more fun.
I'm hoping you're right.
I say Folia Dear Father is going to come out this October for PlayStation VR and PlayStation 4.
Do that.
No,
don't do that to yourself.
This is no. I'm giving you way better odds now. I'm gonna say this might be our Halloween game that we get. He's been working on it for a while, man, and I have faith. I think it's gonna happen.
I'll tell you which one I'm looking forward to the most. Dreams. I want to see the Dreams Halloween creations. They've got the All Hallows Dreams, and I'm really looking forward to see what gets showcased in Dreams for Halloween. God, Halloween's so close.
Halloween's so close.
October's so close, which is good enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even look at next month. It's like less than a week away, and I can't even deal with stuff that's happening next month because I'm too bogged down with everything that's happening right now. Just try and take it 1 week at a time. Also, that for anyone who's looking forward to the PSVR award show, stay tuned. I feel it's definitely still happening this year, but we might have to find a new home for it because no one expected this month and next month to be as crazy as they're going to be for new games. So we might have to find a new home for it, maybe like early in December. So it's actually encompassing the entire year. But stay tuned. I'll have more information on that soon. Shout out to ET2K9.now with the $10 donation. Thank you very much, our friend. With the PSA, he says, stay off. Ahemnis 16 if you value your life. Apparently a very dangerous planet out there in No Man's Sky.
It is a subcategory of planets in No Man's Sky. I don't know if that's the same one as mine. Mine is actually named Ice Crusher or Snow Crusher. You know what it's named after?
Scary as hell.
You know what Snow Crusher is or Ice Crusher is named after? I think it's called Snow Crusher.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
It's my planet that I named.
You named your planet?
Yeah, I named it Snow Crusher.
You named your planet Snow Crusher?
Yeah, you know what that is?
I don't know. Is it a Cool Borders reference?
Close.
You can tell me?
Jet motherfucking Moto, dog.
Oh, man. Okay.
If it ain't, just remember, if it ain't Cool Borders, it's Jet Moto.
And if it ain't Jet Moto, it's Bloody fucking Roar.
Yes. No, but my planet has snow, lightning, and everything. It's terrible planet. So stay off those planets. Permadeath players, beware of this lightning. If that is a bug, beware of this lightning thing. Because that's a problem. If that is a bug, and I was playing permadeath and I would have lost my save there, I would have been pissed.
Hell yeah. Real quick, Stacey Allen says they need to make Subnautica PSVR compatible. That is on Subnautica's on this like huge list of games I've got that like I really just think are waiting for PlayStation 5. Like games that like it seemed like we might have possibly almost got it this gen. We'll see what happens next gen. I'm looking forward to that.
Johnny No Pockets.
Real quick, Kate Panic, the artist formerly known as GameCat, with a $5 donation saying, everyone's going as Bane this Halloween. This N95 gives you power over me.
You were born in an M95 mask. Wait, no. You merely adopted the M95 mask. I was born in it. Molded by it.
When's Dave coming back? All right, man.
I was Bane for Halloween one day.
Were you really?
One time. Yeah, like years ago.
Did you walk around using that voice?
Yes. I answered calls. IT calls on the phone all day like this.
So funny. I just pictured you trick-or-treating. I don't know why I pictured you trick-or-treating instead of just like, dress up at work day.
No. I haven't trick-or-treated in a long time.
Yeah, probably for the best. All right, man. No Man's Sky Beyond, or No Man's Sky Origins, I guess now, right?
Yes.
So, looks pretty awesome. Looking forward to it.
I think my highlights were definitely... Did I make any notes? I didn't make any notes for this one. But my highlights were definitely the bioluminescent algae VR grid. The sandworms, the volcanoes. I feel like I'm missing something though.
Forest, yeah.
Now I just can't stop thinking. I wish there was dolphins.
Hey, what are you gonna?
Can't stop thinking about dolphins now.
Right. Speaking of dolphins, should we move on to the next game that came out?
Yes.
This week?
Minecraft PSVR enabled is now available. I forgot the dude's name that was asking about it. Minecraft came out this week. We really come on, Dave, make it back.
What? Oh yeah, you'll get it.
I really want to hear because Dave has a lot of info on the DLC, some of the add-ons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping he makes it back in time. If not, we'll give him a little chance to shed some thoughts on this. But Minecraft,
hell yeah,
the juggernaut game has come out. and has PSVR support now. And yeah, man, what do you think?
I think you shouldn't do 12-hour live streams the day a game drops. That was a bad idea, and probably not going to do that again for a while. I feel like that's like a once-a-year sort of thing. But
so you want to talk about everything good that we like? Let's talk about everything we liked about the game first, and then we'll talk about the issues after, if there's any.
Everything we liked about Minecraft. What do we love about Minecraft VR? First of all, it's Minecraft in VR, and I don't think I know that sounds simple, but that shouldn't be overlooked. It's everything Minecraft, but in VR. I mean, it's everything. It's the whole fucking you
full game
played. It's there, right? Multiplayer, crossplay, blah blah blah. You name it, it's there. But man, it's like I gotta say, jumping into it and just seeing the world, like very first impressions, and looking around, being like, oh man, it looks pretty damn sharp, and the draw distance is crazy. Yeah. Like it's just the overall look of it when you're looking at. I know blocks, right? Everyone like kind of scoffs at Minecraft and like, oh, it's blocks, but it looks so damn cool. I mean, first impressions, I was like, this is great, man. I can't wait to spend the next 12 hours here.
Yeah, it does look. You told me beforehand. You told me your biggest concern right off the bat was that the graphics. You were like, I really hope that this looks crisp, because sometimes we get a lot of these big name titles, and then we end up getting them, and then it's like, it's like maybe blurry or something is wrong visually, and that was not the case here. It was very, very crisp. The resolution is very nice, and yeah, it looks solid overall. I was never like crazy about the way this game looks, but being in there is a lot different. I like the gameplay of it, and more specifically, one thing you mentioned, multiplayer. Multiplayer is for me what really makes this game shine. 8 people. Yeah. I had my stream going, and a bunch of people jumped in, and they just start going to town and building stuff in my game.
Yeah.
And they were like messaging me, and I was like, I'm sorry guys, I have one thing to do, and let's go find dolphins. That's why the dolphins were mentioned. I had one mission, and that was to go swimming with dolphins. And within the first hour, not even ever playing Minecraft before, this is the first time I've ever played Minecraft in my life. First hour, I was able to survive and find dolphins to swim with. And it was glorious.
That is pretty cool. I will say that here I am, and of course I don't prepare for anything. I'm like, I'm going to do a 12-hour Minecraft live stream, and the only preparation I did was hang out with my niece and nephew and be like, how do I make a crafting table? Like, what's the very first thing I need to do? And welcome back, Dave.
Hey, I'm back. Oh, but I can't hear you guys. Hold on.
And so the very first thing I do, of course, when I'm trying to play the game live, is I'm like, oh crap, I need to build a crafting table, and of course I'm like, I've already forgotten the absolute bare minimum of what I'm supposed to be able to do. The very first thing that they taught me, I'd already forgotten, which is like typical me. I don't prepare for these things at all. But so here I am trying to figure things out, and over the hill comes Minecraft Tiger. And I'm like, oh shit! Like I didn't even realize that my multiplayer was turned on. That I didn't turn off, like, because I was just gonna spend a couple hours playing by myself, trying to figure out the basics, the mechanics, and whatever. And then over the hill, Minecraft Tiger, and I'm like, oh hey, what's up? Like I almost tried to hit him because I thought he was, a creeper or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, multiplayer's on. So people are just joining my game, and it felt so great as they started walking in, populating. I was like, this is so cool to be here. Where there's all these people running around doing shit.
I leave for 35 minutes, and you guys are already talking about Minecraft without me.
Just started, and I was talking about you. We tried. Trust me.
Dude, we talked about cereal for like 20 minutes for you.
Wait, did you guys cover No Man's Sky?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, good. Gotcha.
Yeah. But that's all we had.
You missed nothing, I promise.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that was a really quick work call. That was
we were
great.
Just starting about. We were just starting with what we like about Minecraft VR so far.
Absolutely,
I mentioned the multiplayer and dolphins. Brian mentioned the crisp graphics. Go ahead, take it away.
Oh, okay. So obviously, Minecraft itself is great. The cool thing for me about this is, as somebody who used to be really into Minecraft, flat screen like 8 years ago. Like I had roommates, we'd like build all kinds of stuff. We built like roller coasters in the Nether on a glass platform above the lava. That's like all kinds of. We spent a lot on not on creative mode, on survival mode. Like we farmed everything. But there's so much stuff that they've added. I was constantly surprised by like, oh, there's a new thing I haven't seen before, or like there's a new item to create. I don't know what this is about. There's all these new mechanics, but also the thing that I really love that isn't immediately apparent is that the Minecraft store is there and has all these add-on packs, some of which are free actually, that I didn't know people were making like games on top of Minecraft. So there are ones you can download that have mechanics and levels and challenges and like stuff to do with unique skins and texture packs and stuff. Some of which are really in depth and pretty cool. Like the Jurassic World one I picked up for like $8. And
I thought
there's free ones out there that you can pick up first just to see what I'm talking about, but like it really changes up. Like you're not playing Minecraft anymore. You're playing a game in Minecraft where you have to like collect the dino DNA, synthesize the DNA, go out with a tranquilizer gun and like hunt down dinosaurs, bring them back in cages and drive the Jeep and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. And there's a lot of stuff out there like that that I didn't even know existed because I've been away from Minecraft for so long. So definitely check out the texture packs and the add-ons and stuff, guys, because those are like everyone's gonna love the base Minecraft game, obviously, but it's cool to see what people have created out there that you can go get. It's almost like Dreams or something. Like, oh, let's look at this little weird game that they made in Minecraft or whatever. It's kind of cool.
I'm not big into building stuff, like building buildings
Well,
and bridges
but that's
and
like, isn't that
giant
like
structures.
the second half of the name of the game is like the crafting part?
Right.
Like,
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing is the crafting though goes a little bit deeper than that because you have to mine stuff and you have to collect resources. Minecraft. Oh my God, I just got it.
You mine and you craft. It's like a
Um,
1-2 punch. You start with the mining, and then you got to do it for some reason.
I
The
don't like
crafting. That's why.
building buildings and structures and stuff, but I did enjoy the crafting elements of like having to go out, you punch this tree for a couple seconds and then you collect the blocks from the tree and use that wood to build a crafting table and then you build a wooden pickaxe and then you take that wooden pickaxe and then you go mine some rocks, then you can make a stone pickaxe. And then it's just like there's a great progression system in terms of this stuff that I really, really did enjoy the crafting elements. Something was just fun and satisfying about just going there and just, chopping down trees and stuff and then going to use it later.
Yeah,
And
and that actually kind of brings up an interesting point about like the creative side versus the survival mode, which
right.
is what I think people will get a lot of fun out of because like even if you don't want to build a palace, you start with nothing and you have to survive the first night. And unless you know what to do, craft a bed, craft a house, craft doors, this kind of stuff, and the tools required to do all that, you have no clue what's going on and you'll die. But the game has this cool way of like, at first you'll feel like you have no clue about anything. In a
Yeah.
few days, you'll launch into a brand new world and you'll already have an abode in like 5-10 minutes. Because really, if you know what to do right at the start, you can get off to a good start no matter where they drop you, any random world. Like just get some wood, make a crafting table, get some sticks, make a few tools, and you're pretty much halfway there. Like, so once you get those basics down, it's really fun to just like dive into an unknown world and be like, what's this all about? Especially because there's like these really cool natural features you'll come across. Like you'll be walking by a beach and then all of a sudden there's a giant canyon that goes like impossibly deep. You look down and you get vertigo. And then someone on the stream is like, hey, crack that open. Let's make a waterfall. And you can ride the waterfall down. And I'm like, sure, let's do it. And that kind of stuff is just like naturally satisfying gameplay because you never know what you're going to see. It's like No Man's Sky, like what's around the next corner. It's procedural, so nobody knows. But they are good at making like intriguing cave systems and valleys and uh, canyons and stuff. I've seen a lot more of that now than I used to. I think they've definitely upgraded the procedural generation from when I used to play Minecraft. It's a lot more interesting now.
What I
Ooh,
like about it
Donatello.
is that it feels like sort of the video game equivalent of the story that you hear about the dude who like started with like a paperclip and ended up with a car. He just kept trading this for that and kept getting bigger and bigger guns, right? Because you start with a stick or like nothing actually, and then you got to like beat down the tree, and then you start with nothing, and eventually you end up with like a fucking amazing world that you built for yourself with diamond swords and whatever else. And I love that the chat's giving me such a hard time about my gameplay. I'll tell you, after 12 hours, man, I didn't even know where I was anymore. I think by the end of the game, I'd forgotten everything I learned, and I was like, I'm just trying to ride out the last 45 minutes here, guys. Like, just bear with me.
When you have 200 people telling you what to do, that's got to be impossible.
Well,
like,
it
how
also,
do you retain any of that? Like, it's just like.
And a shout out to every single person who joined my game over the course of the day. I love all of you. But what happened was that I never actually got a chance to learn the fundamentals on my own, which means is like I was, people were just handing me things. I was like, oh man, how do I even make a stick? And then somebody threw a stick down, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to learn that now. And I appreciate it. I was like, oh, makes the stream more fun because we're progressing, and it's not me staring at a menu going, what am I supposed to do? But then I didn't learn anything that I was supposed to learn, and so that's why by the end of the stream when I was off on my own, I was like, I'm screwed all over again.
Xpacer X says PSVR without Parole. My favorite part of Brian's Minecraft stream is after 12 hours he was still chopping trees down with a sword. Xpacer, that's the thing about the multiplayer though. Having the chat was actually because I had way less people watching me, but it was actually really helpful in certain things. It was kind of hard to kind of like translate what they were saying, but they were being very helpful. They helped me figure out just the basic core mechanics. Once you figure out the basics, it's a lot easier to go. But man, I had Xpacer, I had Creeper Betty, I had Dave. I had so many people. Delirium Drew. I wish I could remember like every single person that joined in, because it was like Hack, so many people. And it was like I said, to be honest with you, if I'm being completely honest, when I was playing this by myself, I was like, this is cool. But after like an hour or two or something, I was like, I don't know how much more I'm going to enjoy this by myself. But then playing multiplayer with everyone else, building this entire city, I made the Isle of Dargan.
And then you bailed on us and we made your whole city for you, and you came back and you were like, wow, it's really cool.
It was like a living, breathing city. Cool. Everyone had houses, everyone had beds and stuff. But I was definitely, I was exploring. I wanted to explore. And I think in terms of exploration, it is really cool to find some of like, just to see what's lurking beyond the next horizon or whatever.
What's lurking beyond the horizon?
but the exploration is cool. I would say like the discovery is a lot better than the exploration itself. Because it's kind of like, oh, like this is really cool looking and stuff. And somebody was asking earlier about the draw distance. The draw distance was very good. When you look really far down at the ocean, or when you go to this, there's like another realm. Xpacer built this portal, and it takes you to the Nether. There's the regular place, then there's the Nether, and then there's the Ender that actually has like a final boss like dragon. So it's mostly do whatever you want in this game, but there is some elements of like it's something to achieve. And once we got to the Nether is when I really noticed the draw distance and like seeing just this like huge roof like way far away and stuff. And that was the first time where I was like, this is pretty immersive, being in the Nether.
And I think I know we're not getting too deep into critiques yet, but I think if some people have mentioned frame rate issues occasionally. I've had some frame rate issues. What I've read online is that if you decrease the draw distance and the chunk size in the settings, these are settings you can do, it actually makes it run a little better. So if you're willing to trade off and you are having those issues, if you're like in a world that's really, there's stuff everywhere, there's moving pieces, it can get a little chuggy. So if you do see that, you can turn down the draw distance and the chunk size, and that'll help you.
Real quick, I'm so sorry.
I agree
to interrupt. Donatello the Scientist Game Cat with a $10 donation. Thank you very much, my friend. He says, this is Donatello. It's sort of an inside joke. I love you, dude. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Can this be the new $10 tip guy instead of Tree Guy?
What is that?
Yeah,
it's a... my friend's ex-girlfriend had this as a wine bottle stopper. Like you put it in the bottle. It's like a cork. And then somehow it ended up in my house, and it's just been here, and it was on the table next to me, and I don't know why. So
discovery.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah, Discovery is officially no longer relevant whatsoever. It was never really relevant to begin with.
Yeah.
That Minecraft clone game that's been on the PlayStation Store, it was supposed to get a survival mode. It never got a survival mode. It was supposed to get all these updates. Never got all the updates. Just time to move on, man. Minecraft does it all, and it does it better. It does it almost perfectly.
Yeah.
One of the other things I really love is how when it. So I didn't think like I wasn't crazy about the survival. Like I didn't feel like, oh, I'm trying to survive. But I do love the mechanic of when it turns to night, and then you have these creeps. Or is it creeps or creepers? I can't remember now.
There's all kinds of creatures. There's skeletons, there's creepers, there's submerged creepers. There's like 5 different enemy varieties. You can get raided by villagers who come with like flags and like tear down your village and stuff.
I really liked when it turned to night, and it turned into almost like, I mean, everyone was like, "Where's AJ?" And I'm like, "I'm out fighting everything." It reminded me, honestly, it reminded me of Castlevania 2, where like you're exploring during the day, you're going about your business. Then it says, "What a horrible night to have a curse," and then the music changes, and then all these zombies come out, and you start fighting them. It reminds me a lot of that, and it was, I don't know, I love that aspect of it, and it's so simplistic that like it did give me like this almost nostalgia of like early Castlevania 2. It felt like some ghosts and goblins or something, like going out and fighting stuff, building armor, building swords, and all that different stuff.
Yeah, and one thing you said about the discovery and the exploration that I wanted to add on to actually is you talked about the world itself, right? Exploring the world itself and being interested in that. But the way Minecraft is, it's really cool because the mechanics you can explore the same way. Like there are things that you couldn't even imagine that you would be able to build if you tinker enough and experiment enough and dive into the crafting system and get really deep into it. You know, there are things as amazing as that awesome canyon you saw with a waterfall out of nowhere that you can make, when you get to that point. So it's cool that it has not only that kind of exploratory environmental thing, but you explore the mechanics as you learn, like, what is Minecraft. But as a counterpoint to that, like Brian said, like when people come up and hand you stuff in multiplayer, it's a lot like No Man's Sky, where if people help you too much at the beginning, you'll never be able to help yourself. And so I think it's good to play solo for a little bit before you dive in.
Right.
Or if you play with people, just let them know, like, hey man, don't hand me a diamond pickaxe. Like, I need to make myself a wood one and then figure out how to make a stone one. And like, because you teach a man to fish, obviously that's the whole parable or whatever. Like that's very important in a game like this. I got into a multiplayer game, somebody handed me a pickaxe and I was like, I know you're trying to be nice, but I know what I'm doing and I already created 3 of those like 2 minutes ago. So I give it to somebody else. But yeah, just don't let yourself get too smurfed in this game, I guess is the one thing.
And
you got to learn it yourself.
Smurf me all day, man.
Well, okay.
Smurf me all day.
Yeah.
Give me the diamond pickaxe. No, but I know what you mean.
Smurf AJ.
If it seems overwhelming, it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's really overwhelming. But the fact is that you dive in and you figure these things out, and eventually you learn it all. This game's been out forever, and it's evolved and grown, and it's gone from a pretty simple game to something that's really has a ton of depth to it. So I say, if you're curious at all, just dive in and give it a shot. Somebody was saying that the Minecraft demo is in VR. Do we have any confirmation on that? I just saw
we do. So yeah, I was going to bring that up too. This is the same way it was on PC. The demo is the demo, and it has all the stuff in it that the normal game has, except for it's limited to 90 minutes. Oh. So if you install Minecraft right now and you have a VR headset, you can play 90 minutes of it in VR totally free, which is, I think, probably enough time to tell if you'd want it or not. I don't know if multiplayer works and stuff like that. You probably can't get add-ons and resource packs and stuff, but the base game you can play for an hour and a half, which is pretty good for free. So
probably a good point to say, what issues do you think we're having with Minecraft in VR? Is there anything that's jumping out at you right away that you're like, this really needs to be fixed and fixed soon?
I got a couple. I would say it's a little bit trying on the VR legs. I don't know. And Brian, you did 12 hours and you didn't report this, but I've had a little bit of queasiness and headaches and stuff. Not enough to keep me from playing, but like I'll step away for like 5-10 minutes now and then just to give myself a reset. And I've seen people on Reddit and heard people that I played with kind of say the same thing. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that at the front of the game, when you load into VR, there's a big warning screen that says, hey, the frame rate may be variable. This may cause issues. And so if you're just wandering around an environment with nothing built, you're not mining, there's nobody there with you, obviously it runs very smooth. But like when I talk about these like add-on packs like Jurassic World and stuff like that, if I hop into a helicopter and try to fly around Jurassic World, it's unplayable. The frame rate goes to like 2 frames a second. Like it's bad. But I think that that's why they have that disclaimer up front, because this will run anything that Minecraft flat runs, but some of it might be too much. And I think this is a No Man's Sky situation again, where like people had created these bases flat screen and they were like, oh man, I can't wait to go see my base in VR. And then it would crash their game because there was so much going on, it couldn't even run properly. And they've fixed that, you know, over patches, but like at first, that's how it was. So I guess that's my main issue with it. Really, everything else is just this is Minecraft. It's full on. It's what we want. It's multiplayer. It's great. I just think the performance takes a hit sometimes, which people would be surprised to know. I think looking at the game, they'd be like, "How come that would drop frames?" Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
What do you guys think? What are your issues?
Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, I really, I got to be honest, I really didn't encounter many issues. I think a big issue for other people is the lack of move support. You know, obviously during my 12 hours, I've never heard the same comment regurgitated and reiterated and resaid and restated and fucking over and over and over. Does this have move support? Why does this have move support? Is move support coming? And it's just like, and I get it, man. People are very into the move controllers and they want as much immersion as possible. But man, I think move controls would work fine. But the fact that they're not there doesn't diminish my experience in Minecraft at all. So I think a worry for other people is the lack of move support, and I do hope that gets patched in, because a lot of people really want that. It wasn't an issue for me though. I actually just liked being able to kick back in a chair and, you know, using my analog sticks and playing first-person shooter style, like a very simplified controls. Don't have to worry about anything. It just felt like Minecraft, but in VR. So
not as full-on devil's advocate, but like halfway devil's advocate. Having played this with motion controls on PC, I'll say that I don't think with the move controllers it would work that well.
Right.
This is one of those rare occasions where I do think it's one of those ones where I'm like, I'd prefer to play it on DualShock 4 if we don't have thumbsticks. And that has held up. I've played it for like 8 hours at least at this point, and I stand by that. But there's a little bit of a thing with like the neck strain, I would say, for some people, of like staring straight down or straight up for long periods of time when you want to do stuff, where I think maybe having motion tracking on the DS4 might be useful. Like if I could point up and click instead of craning my neck up every time. That's like an accessibility issue, I think, because people with neck problems, you can't make a mineshaft going downwards if you have neck problems. I'm just going to say that straight up. Like it would be very strenuous on you. As much as I love head tracking, like it works really well in most cases, but the ups and downs, the verticality of it would be a lot better suited, and is better suited by motion controllers, where you can just look forward and point your hand down. Right. And that's a lot more comfortable for more people, I think. Also, but it doesn't require it. I mean, that's just like a minor thing.
It also seems like people are a little confused about what move control support would even bring. I mean, like, you are not going to be standing there looking at a tree going like this with your move controller,
right.
because
people
you're
want that.
Terrible.
No, people want that, and they don't know what they want. The problem is they don't know what they want, because like no one wants that.
So speaking to a couple friends that played this, actually, they said at first they were a little disappointed that there was no move support. That was something that everyone was excited about, but then they said once they started playing it, they were like, okay, this feels fine. But in terms of like what my issues, I guess, you know, I did mention, like, by myself, I wasn't really like super into this, but multiplayer really turned that around. The survival mechanics, like I said, they're not like the it didn't seem like real survival. Like I guess you do have to eat and stuff, and you do have to cook. Yeah, so there is that. So there's some decent survival mechanics, but the main thing that I was going to mention the lack of servers. I created this world, everybody joined in, and it was awesome. However, they cannot go back into that world and all the hours they spent working on it until I log back in. And I don't know the status of this, if they plan on updating this, if this is something in the future. But
I think there is a coming soon somewhere involved in this.
I thought there was.
Swear
I
I've
thought I heard
coming
that.
soon.
Yeah,
they're working on it. I think.
So that would be awesome because I want everybody to be able to go to the Isle of Dargan, and just go build their base or whatever. Even if everybody can't be there at the same time. I don't. My PS4 was basically like hijacked for a few hours because there was no way I was going to kick everybody out. I just couldn't do it. Even if you guys didn't care, I was like,
we
no
kicked
way
ourselves out and we did a different one. Yeah. So then Betty went to sleep and we were like, we'll kick ourselves out again.
I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. Even like I said, even if like they basically all had to leave before I closed the game because I was like, no, like everyone's having fun. I don't want to. I just can't do it.
But all in all, guys, I got to say that totally blown away. Free patch, free update. This is this
$20,
right?
Great stuff. Great stuff. Yeah.
It's crazy. This patch shouldn't even exist, right? There's no reason for Microsoft to say, yeah, go ahead, Mojang, go ahead, make a PSVR patch for
money.
Money. But I'm really curious. I would have loved to see Minecraft as a pack-in game this holiday with PlayStation VR headsets.
We talked about this. Yeah, have a bundle with maybe that and like Astrobot or something. Games that don't require move controllers, but are like kid friendly, and everybody would be excited about.
Did you guys get a bunch of comments about a bunch of people, a bunch of the Game Cats saying, "Hey, man, I'm here watching you because my kids have totally taken over the PSVR now."
For sure.
I had many comments like that saying, "Well, I'm gonna be hanging out on all your streams, AJ, because I no longer have a PlayStation."
Watching vicariously, living through us.
Nice. All right, guys. I think it's probably time to move on from Minecraft. It's an awesome start to the week for sure, though.
Yeah.
All right. What's our next game on the list? What are we talking about?
Next game on the list is budget cuts.
we have so much more to go. Maybe we should.
Wait, are we? But we're 2 hours in.
Right.
What's going on? What did I miss? We didn't. I thought we were going to go through all the stuff real quick while I was gone, and then
we're definitely going through these games. We're on the new releases right now.
Excellent.
But yeah, budget cuts, which comes out tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Brian, you got your review earlier.
I was up till 5 a.m. doing the review and just trying to get it out because it was like one of those things where it was like, again, like we were talking about earlier in the show, I couldn't move on to another game until I knocked this one out. And man, it took a long time to review. But honestly, so here's the thing, straight off, right? We want to talk about how about all the things we love about this game, and I want to say that anyone who's focused on the review score and sees what did I give it, like a 7, 8 or something? I don't even remember. This is how insignificant review scores are. I'm like, I don't even remember what I scored it. It's like, pay attention to the review and see if the game's for you. Like, don't look at the score and go, oh, it sucks that they that they didn't knock it out of the park. Say, like, check it out, man, and see if there's something that interests you because man, I did have a lot of fun with this. Despite the final score. You guys have some.
This is the same conversation that AJ and I just had about Operencia, which is like, it might not be the greatest game in the world, but it's a certain kind of game. And if you like, for instance, stealth games, like this is up your alley. And if that's your thing, it might feel like more than a 7.8 or whatever you gave it. Just like Operencia, same way. Like if you're into dungeon crawler RPGs, you might be like, this is my 10.
Right. Just because we say a game is good doesn't mean this game is for you. But we're judging this game based on what it is. And yeah, I mean, first I'll start this off. I'll kick things off. I really like the stealth in this game mostly. There's one issue I'll get to later. But the stealth overall, the way it's designed and everything is pretty darn good.
As far as the stealth goes, were you surprised that when you created the portal and then and you were looking around that the enemy robots, managers, sentries, whatever, supervisors, whatever you call it, they could see you through the portal? I was really shocked by that.
Here's what's interesting. If you look away from them, they can't see you, even though the portal's there. So if you catch eyes with them and you go like this,
They're not
they
seeing.
they don't see you anymore.
That's
If I don't
awesome.
look
Not
at them, they
seeing
don't
your
see me.
portal. They're seeing. By the way, I love that portal that comes
Oh,
in
it's
front of you.
such a good
The way it
mechanic.
renders and just the way it looks. I mean, it is rendering another part of the level right in front of your face.
The
And yeah,
sound too. The sound of it is very cool. It reminds me of that lightsaber sound you get in Vader Immortal. It's like it's very
yeah.
so satisfying.
I was honestly not like super excited to play this game, but when I was playing this game, I was like, this is fun. Like this is a good game. And yeah, so with that portal, not only do they see you and stuff through it, like they're seeing you through the portal. Did you guys know that you can shoot something, you can shoot the portal gun like right behind one of the robots, and then you can look at your portal, take your knife, and you can throw it right through the portal.
I
Did you
actually
guys know that?
I
What?
didn't do that. I didn't
I
know you could
Yeah.
throw through
I
the portal.
experimented with that
I
and it
thought it
didn't
was just a
work.
visibility thing. I didn't know you could. I
No.
tried it once, but it didn't work for me
You
either.
can hold the portal up and straight up throw a knife into your portal right into the back of their heads or
Oh my
whatever.
god! Yeah, I was with Dave. I tried it once or twice. It didn't work, and I just gave up on that for the rest of the time. That
Yeah.
would have been a very cool way to play this. And I think that kind of brings up something else. Is that the portal gun itself allows for quite a few different ways to play. Like you can go and sneak up on all these guys and just throw knives at the back of their heads, or you can just kind of like plow through the levels and just kill guys as you go, or just try to run away from them and avoid the shots. You can play this stealthy, or you can just play it like a fucking madman.
Yeah, and one thing I really like
kinda
about the transport gun too is there's something a little extra about it that for me just elevates it, which is the fact that it ricochets off of stuff and it has like a bounce trajectory. Like I love using frag grenades in games because they bounce off of walls and they do fun stuff. In Firewall, I'll never use an impact grenade my entire life. And this has that same feeling of like you can angle it a certain way and bounce it off the wall and like end up behind a guy that you wouldn't have been able to otherwise because you're working with the trajectory of the bounce. And that's kind of a fun mechanic that's built into the teleporting thing that might not be immediately apparent, like if you look at the game.
I also love when you throw the knives at the robots. I love the black oil that sprays everywhere. Like it's so gruesome, and they like care for each other. They're like they like really act. They try to act humanized or whatever, or simulate like a human reaction. And they're like, no, like what have you done? Who did this to you? Yeah. But yeah, when you stick them with the knife, and then the blood or the oil, I should say, starts like gushing out and everything, and it sprays across the walls. Oh man, I love that.
And those animations are great too. Like as
robots.
they're flailing around and dying,
Yeah.
like you almost feel bad for them as they're like walking up to you, falling over, spurting shit all over the walls, and just like.
And then when they finally hit the floor, excuse me, when they finally hit the floor right in front of you or near you, you have to like kind of grab them and sort of push and pull them to get your knife back.
Yeah,
and
that's the fun. The physics of it are cool.
Yeah, it reminded me very much like Metal Gear Solid 2. It was just like it was just gonna drag this guy into a locker somewhere. That sounds sexy, didn't it? But
let's get K Panic's tip because people in chat are actually bringing it up. We missed it a little ways back.
All right,
K Panic, the artist formerly known as Game Cat in Lead Speak, with the $4.99 now says, "Give a man a cat, gives him joy for a day. Teach him how to meow. Game Cat for a lifetime."
Nice.
Thank you, K Panic.
Yeah, sorry,
words to live
saw
by.
that go by.
Poetry. Yeah, I lost track of it.
Sometimes we're in the middle of a deep conversation about something, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Wait, what were we talking about? Yeah, it happens all the time. I'm very sorry. Thank you so much for the donation, K Panic. Meow for a lifetime, everybody. Yeah. Speaking of forgetting what we were talking about.
I like the robots, man. I like the robots in this. I like not only the security robots that try to kill you, but just the random robots that are going around. The dialogue and stuff, I don't really care about, to be honest with you. It's not really the story, but just like their mannerisms and their some of the banter can be funny from the security robots, more so than just the random ones. But the graphics overall are really crisp, and I do really like just the level design. Like it feels like I said, this has a lot of good like solid video game gaminess, if you will.
Yeah, I think honestly, I mean, I feel like I have a lot more to talk about the when it comes to the graphics and the environments and stuff like that. Like when it comes to talking about the negatives on this. So I'm going to hold my thoughts on that for a second. But what I will say,
Well, okay, good.
did you want to talk about the environments?
Well, no, as far as positive stuff, going off of what AJ just said about, he mentioned voice acting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought overall compared to a game like Chromagun that's trying to go for that kind of Portal sense of humor,
Yeah.
this game comes a lot closer to hitting the nail on the head. And the guy who's in charge, Rex, what's his name, something like that,
Yeah.
the guy who's at the top of this corporation, his constant kind of chatter over the megaphone thing is sometimes entertaining, but towards the end of the game gets a little bit more unsettling and kind of adds some texture to it, I think. It gets kind of creepy towards the end. So I thought that was like a strong point, actually, the voice acting and the delivery and all that stuff. That was very well done.
Is it Odalaka? Am I pronouncing that right? In the chat, it says, "What's the whole money on kill thing about?" So this is actually my favorite part of Budget Cuts.
Oh, arcade mode.
Budget
right?
Cuts Arcade basically is a whole separate thing separate from the campaign itself, where you go and you have these. I think it's 5 missions that are like. It seems like these were made after they had already finished the campaign and they had already made a pretty awesome game, and then kept thinking about it and saying, what could we do with what more could we do with level design, what more could we do with enemy placement, what more could we do with, and then they actually kept creating these way more refined, in my book, like areas that are like all self-contained, where you go in and there's a certain number of robots to take down. You get scored on taking them all down. You get scored on not getting spotted by them. You get scored by by how few number of teleportations you use, and all of these play into your overall score, and then go into an online leaderboard. And so that's whenever you see that number pop up on the screen during a trailer or gameplay, they're playing Budget Cuts Arcade. That doesn't happen during the campaign at all. And I just thought these levels were so much more well refined and so much more well thought out that I was like, man, just keep bringing me these, and to make that $30 worth it.
Man, I'm sad I didn't get a chance to try that. I haven't done the arcade mode yet. I just was doing the campaign, and I got to pretty much the very end. But maybe we'll talk about it later. The very end is a little troublesome.
They have some cool like objectives. Did you mention that, Brian? Like how some of the ones were like grab intel and stuff?
No, I didn't even say that. No.
Yeah,
is it like a challenge or like an optional objective, or is it like the objective?
It's the objective.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
it's an arcade mode, but it's not just about killing as many, getting the highest score. There's like 3 or 5 different like missions for each one as well. So it's basically just more game, just divided up and just like extra challenges. And I got to try it out a little bit.
I can't wait to play that. That sounds like where I'm going to get my most fun out of the game. So
yeah, with 3 difficulty levels for the campaign, which I don't care about all that much. I feel like it was fine. But the arcade mode also has 3 difficulty levels, and I want to go through and play through all those again on hard, and really see if I can challenge myself and not get spotted and stuff. Because man, some of them are really really well thought out and difficult to get around. If we can we use this as a jumping off point for our negatives?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I love about arcade mode is that they're all self-contained levels, and so even when you get in an elevator, it's like it brings you to the next floor. Nothing dragging you down in between.
I know what you're gonna say.
But during the campaign, it seems like every 3 minutes you jump into an elevator, you go to a different room, you go somewhere, and there's a loading screen that takes you to the next part, and they're kind of on the long side, they're frequent enough to be like, okay, this kind of is like segmenting the game. Like I just want this to be like one big world, and there's enough load screens for me to go, oh man, you're pulling me out of it and then throwing me back in. And every time there's a load screen, if you were holding something in your hand that's not in your inventory, it's gone. So because a lot of the times your inventory is full, and so you're always carrying something around so that you don't lose it.
So I never did that. I just scrapped stuff from my inventory. Like even if I had to go down to 2 knives or something, I was like, well, they're reusable, so I'll just make do. Like I never had too much stuff, although I can see how you would. But I found it difficult to move around while holding something and try to keep that whole thing up. Juggling like another item in my hand. Like
it was usually a knife, right? Because if you come around the corner and there's a guard there, then you want to do it. And so what I was doing was, the great thing about it is if you have a knife and you want to make sure you keep having it, you walk up to a door that you need to open, just throw the knife into the wall, open the door, pick it up off the wall. It seems like it's really easy to always get that item back very quickly. And so after a while, I felt like I was very comfortable with the controls enough to be able to do that constantly.
One thing that I will say is probably kind of a disappointment is that there are different items you can throw at enemies in this game, but they all do exactly the same thing. There's not like, as you go through, you get like crystals or scissors or knives or whatever, and these are different projectiles, but a crystal does the same thing a knife does. So when you get through the game later on, you're getting these different looking items to throw, and you're like, oh, that would be fun. Let me throw a crystal at a guy. Maybe it'll explode. Maybe it does extra damage or something. It's the same as a knife. It just looks different. So I thought, along with the enemy variety, there could have been more weapon variety too, like something besides just a straight, I throw it, it hits the guy, he's dead. Because like that is essentially every item in the game. That's how you use it. Yeah. And the enemies, like I think you mentioned in the review, it's all the same guy, except for the final boss. There are no real variations on those. But I think the placement and the level design is what makes it challenging and fun. So they don't really need to have a bunch of different types of enemies, probably. Like
they don't need to. For me, a lot of this came down to, man, if this was like a $15 or $20 game, I would have been like, we're right there. Like me and the devs and the publishers, we're all right there on the same page. But when you start charging $30 for something, I start expecting a little bit more progression. I start expecting a little more variety, and that goes to the environments as well. I know I said this in my review, but I really felt like we are in an office building, and then and you get into like the story starts progressing and get this idea that like things are gonna get real messed up soon, but yet here you are, you're still in an office building. Like maybe you're creeping around in the vents and the walls and stuff like that, but you're still in an office building, and I could have used way more variety when it came to the environments.
Yeah, without spoiling anything though, there is a giant tone shift and environmental shift at the end. I won't tell you what it's about because that's for you to find out. But it's not all exactly like that. But there's not variation throughout the campaign. It's just sort of at the end, everything changes for a minute. It still fits in with the overall tone and it's not jarring as far as I would call it, but like it takes a different spin in the very final chapter.
Yeah.
So I like I said, I'm glad we're to the negatives now, because I do have a lot of criticisms on this game. Even though, like I said, I was just playing it, you just naturally have that instant satisfaction of like, this is cool, this is fun, and it is immediately satisfying to play this. That being said, I did start running into some things. As much as I love the teleport mechanic, I do wish there was just like a regular walk button, because or just a regular teleport button, because I don't want to have to use that gun just to move. Right. It was very like cumbersome to shoot it, have the portal pop up when I'm not trying to look around or anything. I'm not trying to use that portal.
To explain what AJ is talking about in real terms, say there's a thing you have to interact with to get a phone call. You have the phone number to punch in, but it's like 3 feet away from you. You can't just get close to it. You have to like aim the gun and get it just right, look through the thing, teleport, and if you're like a little bit off, you got to do it again.
Right.
It's cumbersome when you get to those interactions.
Adjusting your movement.
Often. Those happen often.
Yes, very often. The other thing is, some of the stealth works really, really great, and I really liked it. It was like the perfect balance of challenge and action and all this. Hiding behind walls and stuff seems to work absolutely fine, and you are definitely punished for being discovered. It is not easy to overcome if you are discovered.
One-shot kills. These guys are one-shot kills.
One shot, they kill you.
Yeah. But you can dodge. So if they do, it's not the first shot they fire. You can dodge the shots, and you got to be really good at dodging, because it's so funny. Because when I talked to Linnea, God, was it Harrison?
Harrison.
Thank you.
Harrison.
Oof, God, I didn't want to say it because I was worried it might be wrong. She was talking about different ways you can play the game, and that there'd be that you don't have to, you could play it sitting down, you don't have to worry about crouching and stuff like that. And I was like, so I'm looking for the crouch button, and there's no crouch button.
Right. I was hoping we would bring that up. Yeah.
I wanted to play this sitting down. I was very, very tired, and when I wanted to play this, I was trying to play sitting down. I texted Brian. I was like, I am sucking so bad right now because I'm so tired and just burnt out. And I was like, but I can't play this sitting down, and that's one of the most important things about this is that the ducking mechanic itself. The reason I was setting this up, talking about you can hide behind walls and stuff, is if you go into like a cubicle and you duck physically,
Covers you
duck
up.
down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was still being spotted when I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did that
Okay.
not happen to you? Or
No, so I was able to stay stealthy when I physically ducked all the way down behind the cubicle wall.
right?
But
Hmm.
when I don't remember having to do that on PC. I feel like there was a crouch button, and this would be the easiest, quickest quality of life update that they could patch into
Yeah,
this game. Because
definitely.
first of all, accessibility is one thing, but second of all, like the game never really tells you to crouch. Like,
Well,
and
it
then if
also
you don't,
limits.
you get screwed because these guys are very tall robots, and
So
your head goes above the cubicle. So unless you physically
right.
duck, you're screwed.
I was
Um,
very low to the ground, and there was a robot like in the distance, and it was still able to see me despite being like physically crouched. Like I know for sure I was like way below, not able to be seen because I couldn't see like anything.
and you
Um,
hadn't shot a teleport gun out, right? Because they can see
I
you through the teleport gun
they,
sometimes.
they yeah, but they weren't they the way that I was. But the problem with this is like it changed the way that I was. It changed like my game plan for going about the room, right? Because when I was hiding behind a cubicle or something, it was yeah, like I couldn't. It limited the amount of space that I could go to around the different areas. So like instead of going, choosing my own path, I had to basically like there was like stairs or like a second floor that I was able to go up and go to. So there was another way around it, but and like I said, I'm like 99% sure that I was crouching enough to not be seen, but they were still able to detect me.
So Ryan from VR Grid is keeping me honest here, and he says there is no crouch button. Roy Schwartz also says it's room scale on PC, so I was wrong about that. I think honestly, since I played it wireless on Quest, I was probably just noticing that it was easier to duck and be registered properly,
She,
because the camera is an issue. Obviously when you're ducking in games.
Just to
she
clarify,
did say.
just to
So
clarify, I want to clarify what Linnea said during the interview, because I did reach out to her and say, hey, I thought you said there was a duck button, or no, that crouching
Crouch.
wasn't an
Yeah.
issue, and what she clarified by saying that it's like auto crouches. So when you auto crouch, like when you're in a vent that's only this tall,
Oh, but not
you don't have
behind a
to.
cubicle.
Right. So I think I think that just kind of got lost in translation.
Misconnection there
Yeah,
a little bit.
I don't want to be like calling her out because I think she was awesome and very honest about her game,
Yeah.
and but it just turns out that I think I misread what she was saying there.
Well, here's what I'll say though. From an accessibility standpoint, if you're hearing this and you're thinking, "Oh, there's no way I can play this game," that's not the case. I actually didn't like having to crouch physically, so I managed to get through the meat of the campaign without doing it because I found spots where I didn't have to. Like it's one of those stealth games where you have options. There's a ton of vents. There's doors that go this way that you could get to the other side by going through a vent or walking through a main hallway or hiding here and jumping there. Like you have a lot of options and you don't have to worry about crouching if you're thoughtful about how you do it. So don't take that as like a you can't play it if you can't physically crouch.
All right, you
well,
guys.
like I said, oh good.
I don't want to cut you guys off, but I do want to say that we're going to be running out of time if we don't move on soon.
Okay, so
I feel like
talk
people
about
are
the
very
boss.
interested in the next couple games we're going to talk about.
I like
Should we talk
your
about the
score
final boss?
7.8. Let me just
No,
final boss.
no, cannot talk
Oh,
about the
that's
final boss.
no. It's in terms of negatives, not talk about spoilers. But I think that was one of main sticking points was like, so just generally, vaguely speaking, the final big critique is that the out
Yeah,
of nowhere the mechanic.
I would say just don't talk about it at all. I didn't talk about it in my review for a reason.
Okay,
There are pacing problems in
Yeah,
this game,
that's
and there
yeah.
it's
and maybe the final
it's a
boss is a
critique.
pacing problem, but it's all
It's a
but
critique.
that critique can also be stated towards earlier puzzles in the game, and if we just keep it towards
Okay,
that, where it's like
okay.
there's it's some things seem really over convoluted and way too overworked.
That's all I was gonna say.
All right.
Nice. I just want to add to. I don't like the price of this game. For I think it's a great game, but I don't like the price of it.
Yeah, $20 would have been great.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
it's been out
perfect.
for 2.5 years on PC at $30. It's time for a price drop all around, including the launch price on PSVR. Still, I think if you get it on sale, I think you have a lot of fun with it. It was a fun
Must
time.
have on sale.
Yep. AJ, what's the next game we're going to talk about?
Next game is these guys have been asking for this so bad in the chat. So we're going to talk about Swordsman VR now from Sin Studio.
I thought you were going to troll them and say it's time to talk about OhShape.
They've been asking for us to talk about Swordsman, so I got to.
Got to.
But yeah, so Swordsman came out. Guys, what do you like?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's out tomorrow.
Oh,
we have codes. We have codes, but it's not out yet.
It could be. I mean, he's saying it could be out as early as midnight.
You're in Australia.
Some places, but in some places, depends on the region. Maybe that's Steam. I think is midnight, and then like normal time when the store updates tomorrow, like around 11 Eastern is usually when it happens for us. I'm planning on having a review out, which means I'm not going to bed tonight. That is my goal. I'm not going to bed until I have a Swordsman review. I've got way more to play. But guys, we've spent a bit of time with this game. What do we love about it so far?
Well, I want to say real quick before we get into it, the tagline for your channel should be, I'm not going to sleep tonight. That's the goal. Because I feel like that's the mentality you have all the time.
Budget cuts, man. It was, I was tired. Just like
put the gas on. But so I think you guys have played more on PSVR, so I'll let you guys go first. Because I played PC for like 3 hours, and I've played maybe 40 minutes of the PSVR. So I think you guys have a better idea how it ported over.
I must be coming up on 3 hours or so with Swordsman on PSVR. Obviously, I'm looking at my percentage. I've got a long way to go, but so I'm going to be spending a ton of time with it tonight. I definitely never want to review a game before I feel like I've played enough of it. Man, first of all, I mean, there's just a lot going on here, right? We'll start with the basics, man. We'll start with the basics. It is a physics-based brawler, basically, I guess. Arena combat.
Melee combat, or like weapon-based combat. Yeah,
perfect. And I love some of the physics in this game.
Physics are very good.
I love attacking and retreating, and just getting that pattern in, having those swords and being able to block, and then parry and I mean, it feels really good right off the bat. Did you guys have that same first impression?
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
First fight, yes. Definitely. When it comes to just the physics, like the physics alone, yes, very good.
Yeah, and like the occlusion is important to note because like your sword will stick on stuff if there's an object in the way. So like if a guy's arm is here, you can't just like swing through his arm and hit him. Like it will stick to his arm. And yeah, the physics are pretty good. You get some ragdoll effects occasionally when you get into the slow down time mode. Like if you kill somebody when they're in slow time, you can kind of get them flipping around and ragdolling out in fun ways. Yeah. And if you stab a guy in the face, your sword sort of sticks on there and you're like jiggling him around. You got to pull it out. So yeah, I think the physics are good. I don't know. There's a certain something I couldn't place that feels a little different, like maybe the physics are slightly dumbed down from the PC version I played, but it still felt basically good, basically pretty good. And that might be also, like I said to you guys previously, I've played with thumbsticks on the PC, and it's rarely that I would say it makes a difference, but for me it did kind of make a difference.
It's harder with
it's a little hard.
It's harder with no. This is one of the few games where I'm like, moves need joysticks.
Well, and I think well, I'll save it for the critiques.
But it still controls well for what it is, though. It still controls very well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a back button on the move controller, so I'm holding that down and I'm walking backwards and able to swing at the same time.
You can also strafe left and right as well if you want to. Yeah,
all those buttons are there. It's just it's not crazy intuitive. So you spend some time with it. I think you get that down eventually, and it took me a second to be able to, because sometimes I'd walk up to an enemy and then be like, he'd be right up in my fucking personal space. I'd be like, get back. And I'm like, which buttons kick? Which buttons back up? Fuck, I don't know. And so spend a little time with it before you. Yeah.
The kick doesn't always do what you want it to. Like he can't already be swinging, or else the kick is just like, you're wasting your time. But it's good sometimes. Actually, when I played PC, I didn't even know there was a kick button, which is kind of useful.
Brian told me. I love the setting of this game. I love being what is it, like the medieval setting, but then there's like Vikings, there's monks, there's samurais. the settings and everything, how it goes for this kind of realistic look. I really, really dig the setting in this.
And if you just got off of playing Ghost of Tsushima, the fact that there's Mongols and samurai slash like feudal Japanese guys to fight against, you'll get some fun out of that, I think. And you can yourself get katanas and all kinds of cool.
I was going to say,
yeah,
you get their weapons as well, which is really nice. You get samurai swords, you get Viking swords, all the different different kinds of swords, basically.
And it's
yeah,
cool
and that
too.
actually brings up a pretty cool part of the game that I can speak to because it's the same on PC and PSVR, which is the upgrades, the unlocks, all that stuff is actually a lot more depth than I expected out of this game. Because as you go through, you collect currency and these kind of like skill points that you can use to make your character stronger. And there's certain weapons that you get that say like a claymore, for instance. Like if you guys know what a claymore is, it's a very heavy sword. So there's like a suggested strength level. And I think the physics in the game react to how much strength you have when you're wielding a certain weapon. So if you're super low level and you get a claymore and try to use it, you'll be barely swinging the thing. But if you upgrade your strength as you go through the game, it's like an RPG style where you actually get stronger and the physics reflect that you're more confident with your blade and can swing faster and do more damage and stuff. So I thought that was like a surprising dimension of the game that I didn't expect. The stat upgrades and all that stuff, the armor and the weapon unlocks. It's cool. There's more to it than you'd think.
I was addicted, man. Like I was addicted because of the stat upgrades. So
Yeah,
last
exactly.
night I finished my budget cuts review, and I'm like, and I should have been going to bed right then and there. I played Swordsman, I think, for probably about 2.5 hours straight at that point, because I was like, oh, I just want to upgrade this next stat. I want to upgrade this. I want to keep adding power. You get to the first boss, and it's like he's just impossible, like just impossible. And so I was like, okay, so that's cool. It lets you replay some of the earlier stages in World 1, or you can move on to World 2 and go play that and just keep upgrading. I'll get back to the boss later. And so in my mind, I'm like, there's this challenge I haven't completed yet. And like that OCD in my head just flipped. That switch flipped so hard. And I was like, and all I could do is like after every battle I went back and was like, what can I upgrade? What can I buy? Can I buy a new sword to start off with? And I just wouldn't stop. And every 30 minutes or so, I'd go back to that first boss and be like, can I beat him yet? And I'd get a little bit further, but still not be able to beat him. And that's like, man, such an addiction right there where you're like, I need to take this dude down. And I can't,
Yeah, and
but I know that
I
I'm
think
going to be able to.
I think they did themselves a huge favor too by showing you everything you can unlock in the weapon tree by
Yes.
default. Because when I get in there and I see, oh, that's a badass katana, what do I need to get to unlock this? What does my strength level need to be? How much money do I have? How do I achieve that? It gives you clear goals because you see cool shit. And like even from the beginning, you can see the special like magical weapons that you'd get from beating a boss. And if I'm looking through and I just started the game and I see that there's a fire sword, I want a fire sword. Like
Right.
I've got to get the fire. So it's like it builds in the kind of motivation to do it.
Real quick shout
Wow,
out
in
to
studio. My
Alec over at Sin
goodness.
Studios with the oh man with the dude don't
Does he
send
get this guy or this guy?
don't send your money before you've heard everything we have to say.
We're only talking about the positives right now.
We haven't said the stuff we don't like yet. But
This
thank you
is
so
No
much.
refunds. No
Thank you so much
refunds.
for the Monopoly money donation, man. $50 from Sin Studios
Yeah.
because you guys are awesome. Big thanks for always pushing games in the right direction.
We care, the one thing I could tell you about this channel is we care about video games and we love video games. And I think those are the kind of people that, at least when I listen to people that do reviews and talk about games, I like people that sound like they actually like video games.
So many
It
people
pisses
seem
me
like
off.
they don't even like games.
Yeah.
Or I hate,
It's like,
what are you
or
doing
like a
this for?
certain game. Yeah. It's like, why are you the one reviewing this if you don't even like video games?
Yeah, and I want to say real quick for Sin Studio, like they have been very straightforward in talking to me and us all saying, "Hey, we know you guys didn't like our last games. We value that input. We want that input. We need like when I streamed this for the Discord on the PC, he told me be harsh. Like come up with all the bad things you can because I want to make sure this is something people like." And that mentality in a developer, I think, we have shit on the games in the past, but the fact that he's still so all in and he's like, you know what? okay, I'll take the feedback. Let's make a good game next time.
Yeah.
And this is certainly, I mean, we're going to get to the negatives, but definitely a swing in the right direction as far as that goes, I would say.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and there are certainly developers who have low key blacklisted us for being like way too honest, you know, and just being like, all right, man, that's we just don't get keys from them anymore. We don't hear from them anymore, and that's, you know, if you ever need more proof that, you know, we're always going to be honest, despite our, you know. I talked to Sin Studio about doing a developer interview. We're going to be hopefully doing one of those very soon, and you know, we just talked to Linnea Harrison at Knee Corporation, and I was still very honest about budget cuts. So,
You know, that is one of the, you know, it's, I want to judge this game by itself, but I have to say, when you compare this game to other Sin Studios games, this is like,
what's wrong with Wraith?
Leagues ahead.
You don't like Wraith?
No, I don't like Wraith. I don't like any of the other ones very much. This is the first one where I'm like, okay, finally they're onto something here. Definitely.
So there's a lot of good stuff going on here. I will say, side note, that when the first thing I thought when I turned this thing on, I was like, oh man, it looks really nice, but it's kind of blurry. You go into the option setting and you switch the anti-aliasing from one mode to the other, and I'll tell you, it's not a dramatic improvement, but it's a big improvement. It's like
firewall levels.
Not firewall levels, but it's because firewall was like night and day to me. It went from fuzzy to sharp, and this went from being fuzzy to less fuzzy.
Okay, because I didn't notice that option. I was gonna say it's fuzzy.
Yeah,
but I'll try that.
I usually like the aliasing and stuff. You know, the anti-aliasing. I don't like aliasing. Yeah, I usually don't like when
I don't mind if it shimmers.
When I play Firewall, I prefer it to be a little bit more on the fuzzy side than the whole like kind of shimmering side. But you know, another thing I like, the music, man. The main menu music, whatever that song is, I freaking love that song, and I like a lot of the songs in this game. But I do have, that's only half of my statement about that, because I do have some negatives to say about the music too.
Slide into the teensiest callback to something from earlier. We didn't talk about the music and budget cuts, but I actually love music and budget cuts.
Yeah,
I just want to put that in there. Yeah, it's so cool. The loading screens actually have pretty good music. But
last week we were talking about Operencia, and I said I love the music so much, and I heard someone say, you know, music doesn't make a great game. That is absolutely not true for me personally. You'd be surprised how much music is actually important to me in video games. It can actually almost make or break a game sometimes. So maybe it is a personal thing, but music is absolutely important for video games for me.
Well, dude, when I did my Gorn review, people accused me of being like, you're just trying to pimp Angel Crypt because, you know, and I was like, but for real, like when I put Angel Crypt on and I'm playing Gorn, it's an entirely different experience. Gorn without music is so missing something.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I 100% agree. It won't save a bad game from being bad, but it can make a good game a whole lot better.
Yeah, I mean, even those loading screens we talked about in budget cuts, like I was bopping during a loading screen, so it didn't feel as bad. Like I was like, this is a cool little jam. And they actually were clever enough to include little office sounds like clicking keyboards and like typewriters and stuff in the beat. It's pretty clever. Anyways, that's all I'll say about that.
I wonder if I missed that.
$3.99 from Danny Deadhack.
Danny Deadhack, thank you so much for the donation, man. $4 donation saying meow meow. Can't VR tonight. I like that that's a verb. Have fun on Honor and Duty. It sounds like the cats are getting an Honor and Duty D-Day game together after this.
I think that's every GAMESCAST. It's been like 3 weeks now, at least, that they've been putting this together. Yeah,
Elbert's on task, man. He's getting everyone together. I like it. All right, so a lot of good things for a second, but it's green now. Are we good?
Okay. What were you saying?
We've said a lot of good things about Swordsman.
One more thing. I like I said, I like the setting a lot.
Yeah.
I do like the environments, and like I said, a lot of these things I'm saying yes I like, but I've got some criticisms of them as well. Yeah. But I do like the variety of environments here, the arenas, I should say. I like the variety of arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does a good job of, like you said, like there's Mongols, there's Japanese guys, there's I don't know, the various guys that you fight, knights in shining armor, all this stuff.
Right.
And all the settings very well fit the kind of theme of whatever that I guess I would call them trees. Like you can play them all individually. You don't have to go from one to the next to the next to the next. So like,
Also the picking up mechanics. It's so easy to pick stuff up.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, what is that called? I don't know. It's like the magnet,
Like
gravity,
telekinesis.
force
telekinesis.
gravity.
Yeah, every VR game needs to do this, man. Don't go for realism. Just let me stick my hand down, press the trigger, and just go, and just grab whatever I'm trying to grab.
And that's something
Yeah,
you can upgrade.
Oh, really?
Right,
The
so
distance.
yeah, it seems like you can you can upgrade your
Hmm.
telekinesis and chronokinesis. The chronokinesis is when you slow time and get like a bunch of hits, and telekinesis it seems like you can upgrade that and grab weapons from further away, which I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. And the slow-mo thing, just to explain, you have to get a parry to activate that. There's not like a button you can hit. It's not like a special power. It's like a percentage chance of each hit that you block successfully might trigger it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't want to get into the bad stuff.
I don't need
yeah,
Right.
All right, but we have to.
All right. So as much as I like the environments in this game, I don't feel as though any of them actually play into the battle at all. I feel like there's a missed opportunity there.
interchangeable. They're totally interchangeable.
Yeah, I feel like there's a missed opportunity here to be like, hey, there's a reason for this new environment. There's like a death pit with spikes in the middle of it that you can knock people into, or
Well, that's the Gorn thing. That's the Gorn thing. Yeah.
right, absolutely. That's what Gorn did actually kind of well, but I still don't think even Gorn took full advantage of what it could have done.
It was like one level.
Yeah. And so I really think that like if they're thinking about adding anything to these arenas, it'd be like, give me a reason to want to play in different arenas. Give me arena specific set pieces or death traps or traps in general.
The only thing I'll say as a counterpoint to that, and I'm not defending the game's choice, but it is very realism oriented. There is nothing fantastical about this game except for if you beat the boss and get the magic weapons. But like outside of those specific one class of weapons that are locked behind, unlocks, it's pretty much just a very dry, realistic. This guy looks like a guy from this era. He swings his sword. You block it. You swing. And I think that kind of stuff, like I'm gonna knock him into a wall of spikes and I'm gonna kick him into a pit, probably wasn't in their original concept of like what this game entails.
Yeah.
But it sounds cool. Like I would obviously love to play that.
Okay,
but I can
just
see
picture
why
a drawbridge and a moat or anything like that. All sorts of different ideas. I don't know.
You say that it's very realistic, and that's what I think the game is going for.
It's shooting for realism.
Shooting for realism, right?
Yeah.
And I agree. It shoots for realistic, but there's a couple things I think it's missing. Number one, I actually think it needs to be more gory. Like I want to really have like either blood splat on my face or something. It gets on the sword. They do like their heads and stuff get a little bloody. But I think this game could really double down on the gore and just make it like really, really brutal. And I think a lot of people would really like that.
Yeah.
If you're going for brutality, the best way to do it is stab a guy in the face through the little slits in his armor, and then very satisfying, pull your sword out of his face.
So,
but man, there's dismemberment, man. Like let's chop arms off, let's chop legs off, man. Like let's like really go to it. The number of times I hit some dude in the head, like just like swiped his neck, and I saw the life bar. I actually turned on the life bars to see exactly how.
I did too.
Different attacks were registering. It was like I was like, how did I just hit this guy so hard in the neck? And just like boom, like just like the life bar went down a little bit. I want to chop that fucking head off, man. Like just if I'm gonna maybe if I hack away at it a little bit, it'll go.
You did mention that before.
Well, I think as a result of like so much armor, like most of them are heavily armored, and so if you hit a guy in the head, it sort of just thunks off his helmet, and you're sort of like, well, did that even do anything? And like, unless you have the life bar, you wouldn't even be able to tell if you hurt him or not, because he just kind of goes, and then he's still going.
It is pretty funny. I do love like smacking them and their head goes in a little bit. Like it goes in a little bit and a little blood spurts out. But when you say going for realism, I do agree. However, there was like a desire a little bit to like use some kind of magic or something in this, because when you're fighting the boss and you get him down to a certain level, he actually just starts like two more enemies will come out and he starts healing himself. And he just starts magically healing, like sitting there going, like like
Aw.
and healing and stuff. But with the gameplay, you talked about like poking in the face. This game, when the one of the things that I have a small problem with is you kind of have to make your own fun a little bit with it, because the truth is I got away a lot with just walking up, poking someone in the face, backing up,
Yep.
walking back up and poking in the face. Sometimes they would jump back. I could tell the AI like wanted to jump back, but it just, I don't know if I was doing it too fast or finding another way around it with a longsword. But when I started reverting to just walking up, poke him in the face, back up, walk back up, poke in the face, that's where this game really hit the low for me. Was like it just became really boring that way. However, if you actually take the time to like actually try to parry attacks and try to get into it, it really showed signs of brilliance. I'll be honest. Like I really thought there was something special when I was really trying to play this game properly. I thought it was really fantastic. Shows the potential, but things like not Gorn, things like Golem, they kind of make you do that, and this game doesn't make you do anything. You kind of mostly maybe playing the bosses is where I really felt like I was like, oh yeah, like this isn't just like as generic. Like I feel like there's patterns, there's like certain things you have to watch out for that you can't just walk up to the boss and poke him in the face. Basically, he'll cut you in half like instantly. But yeah, that was one of the things with the gameplay.
Yeah, it's those kind of things that make me go, oh man, like this game is great, but with some more work, it can be even better. And it sounds like they're listening, and I love that. Real quick here, I want to make sure we give a shout out to Hugh Guyver with the Australian $10 donation. He says, gonna watch later. Meanwhile, have some pizza. Money. The cousin says hi. Well, thank you. Say hi right back to
Shout
cousin
out to Hugh MacGyver.
Thank you so much, Hugh Guyver. We appreciate
Delirium Drew says, AJ, to be fair, you're like an AI's worst fucking nightmare. I mean, that is kind of true.
Yeah. Well,
because, yeah.
One thing that I'll say, one of my critiques is like, having played this on PC, I suck at it on PSVR. And I think part of that is, like Brian said, it's a little finicky to get the hang of like what the back button is with the strafe, but like getting it all down without a thumbstick. It's not super intuitive at first. And so like the first level of the first stage, I died on a bunch. And when I played it on PC, I didn't. I was like breezing through it. I kicked ass. And so I think, like I said earlier, this is one of those games where I do feel like there is a little bit lost in translation without having the thumbsticks. It doesn't break the game. It's just like harder. You don't feel like as much of a badass, which is unsatisfying in some way.
There's also some other things that like I guess I expected to be there and weren't. Obviously there was a moment where I was sword fighting. That's obviously what you're doing in this game, and somehow my blade went flying, and like I was totally unarmed, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna punch this dude in the face, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. I was like, well, what if I grab him and can push him, and like, what can I do? I'm unarmed suddenly, and I need to use my hands to do something because I can't run away fast enough. I hadn't upgraded that my agility yet, and I'm just, it's like, oh no, you're defenseless if you don't have a weapon in your hand. I mean, you can pick up swords and stuff. I mean,
somebody asked me that,
shields and everything, but yeah, you can't push the guys, you can't punch the guys, you can't grab the guys, and I think
kick them.
You can kick them if you remember what button
that is. That's a stopgap. You know.
Yeah.
I actually thought I punched somebody. Maybe no, but maybe I had a shield or something. But yeah. I was under the impression you could punch because I thought I tried it and I thought it worked. Maybe I just like accidentally ran into him or something and it like made him move. I know you can definitely hit him with a shield, right?
These are all things I'm going to know way more about after I spend some more time with it tonight.
Right.
Like, I'm going knee deep into Swordsman tonight to review it for the morning. And these are a few different things I need to like really experiment with and make sure before we say it doesn't have it. Definitely try it a few times.
One thing that I'll throw out there as a critique of the AI attack patterns is that Brian, like I think you mentioned earlier, you feel like people are up in your space a little much. Where with the controls as they are, before you upgrade the agility and you have faster movement and stuff, and before you get hang of controls. a lot of enemies will do one attack and then move in very close and push on you with their second attack. And even if you've blocked the first one, unless you somehow manage to backstep like 3 full steps, you're gonna get hit no matter what. Because he comes in like this, you block it, and then his next one just comes from here and he's pushing forward and he's stepping into your area.
Usually once they step on you, they get you too.
There's no way you can block it. They're just in your body hitting you.
It's frustrating. It gets a little frustrating.
It is frustrating.
It can be.
The duplicate models, like the first, this isn't something that I mentioned that I experienced a lot later on in the game, but the first level, first stage or whatever, there was a lot of duplicate enemies. I mean, like, and I don't mean like they, like, no, it was literally like triplets, like identical triplets coming to attack me. Same face, same armor, same everything coming at me. That's definitely immersion breaking. I was like, come on, like add a mustache, add a little weight to his cheeks or something, add some scars.
Skin color.
Here's what he told me. Actually, I talked to him about this when I was doing the beta test on the PC. Right. And he said that it's randomly generated per level. And there's like a pool of enemy types that they pick from depending on what stage you are and what difficulty it is. So like for each, say like you're thinking about knights or samurai or Mongols, each of them has like up to 40 different character variations. But within a certain level, you'll get a randomized selection of some of them. Does that make sense?
Yes. It
so
was
like
just
you
way
will
too
end up in
often.
situations where like you get 3 of the same guy because it's just throwing a random number generator out there and just like whoever gets in gets in.
Gotcha.
So like sometimes the very first guy you fight on the very first stage can be the strongest enemy in that pool of enemies.
Right.
And then you get matched up against some schmoes like right afterwards. So
sorry, when you said schmoes, it made me think of something.
Okay.
There's one point where these guys were all like attacking me. There's like they were all bunched together too. And I was like, man, this is like the fucking Three Stooges all coming at me at the same time. They're like, whoa, you know, and they weren't hitting each other. And I was like, oh man,
I do wish they could hit each other.
It would have been so much better if they like had, because like how unfair is it to have them swinging their swords through each other? But and there's three of them coming at you.
If I have 2 swords and I try to swing them through each other while I'm trying to hit you, they're going to bounce off each other and they won't work. How come they get to do that?
How come?
Not fair, studios. Not fair, Alec.
So,
when I complimented the music earlier, I said that I have a second part to this.
Okay.
I seriously love the music. Some of the music reminds me of Castlevania. That's the second time I've said this on the stream. I love the main menu theme. When you first start the game, whatever that song is, I used it in a video, another video at 1.2. It is beautiful, and it is just like, I feel like really, I don't know, it feels like immersive for some reason. The music tracks, that being said, are like 20 to 30 seconds long, and so like you'll go through the entire playlist in like 1 or 2 fights, and as much as I love the music, it starts and like stops constantly, and it's like, man, I really just want one of these tracks to be playing throughout this entire level.
Like looping, like games
like
do.
Looping, yeah. Something like that, yeah. But it seriously plays each song for like 20, 30 seconds max. I'm serious.
That.
Yes.
Somehow I didn't. That just went over my head. I didn't.
And then it just kind of loops the whole thing, the whole playlist again. But the music is so good. I really want to see it like stretched out.
Yeah. Guys, we have like about 10 minutes left. We want to dive into OhShape and then call it a night.
Yeah.
That works. Is there anything else we missed? I feel like there's so much to talk about.
There really is. It sucks to say, man, I had so much fun with this. I was really addicted to it. The lighting.
Yeah. I think the lighting could be a lot better.
Okay.
I don't know. The lighting is just not very good.
That's what I'd call a squabble.
Minor
squabble.
I'm looking forward to playing tonight, man, because really it's this balancing act, right? Do the negatives outweigh the positive? Are the positives good enough to make me not care so much about the negatives? Like I played for, like I said, 2.5 hours last night, probably straight, and I couldn't get enough. I didn't want to go to bed because I just wanted to keep upgrading my character, and I want to really see if that pays off, if upgrading really pays off, how it feels to beat the first boss, getting that weapon, moving on, using that weapon, moving forward. I mean, there's so much more that I don't know how I'm going to feel about that I'm excited to see. That's why these first impressions are very much first impressions, and I'm not ready to review this game yet. Can't wait to dive in after this stream.
And just to reiterate for the people who have the question, which I think a lot of people do, Swordsman VR or Until You Fall, because they're both melee, combat games that are coming this month. And I would say if you don't know for sure which one looks more appealing to you, and after this conversation you haven't made up your mind on Swordsman, wait a week, see how we feel about Until You Fall, how the port goes, and then you'll have enough info to make a decision. There's no rush. If everybody's money is going to be tight. Obviously, COVID is one thing, but like 7 games coming out, like just crazy. There's so many games. Nobody has money for all this stuff, and people have to make hard choices. And I think a lot of people, that choice is Until You Fall versus Swordsman. And let's just wait and see. Nobody knows how Until You Fall's port is going to be yet. We still got a few days until then. And just hold on to your cash. Keep your wallet safe until that happens, I would say. But if this looks awesome to you and you don't care about Until You Fall, go crazy. Go ahead.
If you're one of the type of gamers that will like explore and just kind of make your own fun, like absolutely. Like if you just want to play through a story or something and just get through it, I'd say no. But if you will actually take your time and try out different things, experiment with lots of different weapons and stuff, it's cool. But yeah, like Brian, I got a lot more to play too.
Yeah, we'll have probably updated impressions. Like I said, I'm gonna have a review. We'll talk about this much more in depth. Embargo hasn't even lifted yet. Thank you for letting us talk about this early. Really appreciate that.
Yes. Huge jump forward for Sin Studio for sure.
For sure.
Oh, proud of you guys. I'm proud of you, Sin Studios. Proud of you.
You can do it. All right, guys. So one more game to talk about, and that game came out earlier today, last night for some people, and that is OhShape. OhShape, formerly known as OnShape. Very much a fitness VR game. The guy in the trailer, he doesn't know what he's doing. There's no cable connected to that PSVR headset. There's no lights on the headset. The move controllers are not lit up. He is not playing OhShape. He's just dancing for a trailer. Guys, first impressions of OhShape. What did we love about it?
The graphics and the presentation.
I love watching AJ play it because I haven't got a code and haven't bought it yet.
All right.
So
AJ and I both bought it earlier today, and I haven't spent a ton of time with it. Maybe about an hour at best, I think. How far into it are you, AJ?
About an hour. I spent like another 20 minutes after the stream.
Okay. Dude, first things first, the second I started that thing up, there was something very refreshing about lifting my hands up and seeing my in-game hands and seeing how sharp they were. I was like, man, this game has like a very, it's simple aesthetic, but that allows it to have like a nice high resolution, and it just looks crisp and clear. And I really was happy to see that for sure.
Some of the targets or the walls, I should say, coming toward me looked a little blurry at first, but everything overall looks pretty crisp and really good. Like I said, the presentation, the color, it's like the thing we talk about Audica all the time. Like Audica doesn't have this impressive presentation, but this kind of does, even though it's not like the deepest variety of maps. I think there's only two backgrounds,
2 locations, yeah.
Well, from a visual like presentation perspective, not having played it but seeing you play it on stream, the thing that stood out to me immediately as really cool was the way they represent your body.
Yes.
With shadow. Yes. Because I've never seen a better visual representation of a body using move controllers in a game ever.
Yeah.
It looks very fluid. It almost looks like there's a Kinect looking at you, like representing your shit on screen. It seemed very accurate. AJ, was that your experience actually playing it? Like it was matching up with the way your body was moving pretty 1-to-1?
It was matching up pretty darn well. Yeah.
And
the gameplay, the gameplay overall, I thought was really tight. I even commented about like, wow, I can't believe how accurate this is in terms of like the gameplay. I thought it was actually really, really well done. There's 3 different things you do. You do different poses, like especially like doing like weird ones like this. I don't know. There's like some that do like this, and it made me want to do like karate noises, like wah and stuff. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of different poses that are pretty awesome. You're also catching little like bonus points, and then there's also obstacles to dodge, as well as these red shields that come at you, and you have to punch them as they come. So there's the gameplay is excellent actually.
So as far as like a fitness game goes, would you say this is up there with like a box VR or something like that? Is it that intensive, or is it more like Beat Saber or something? Level of
I think
sweat.
in between, honestly.
In between. Okay, so closer to
probably closer to box VR. I was playing this
that's
and I was like I don't feel anything. Like I feel fine. And then like maybe 30 minutes after the stream, I was like, oh,
I think because it doesn't let you let up. It seems like it's like this pose, this pose, this pose, punch, this pose, that pose, this pose. Like it's nonstop.
And
There's
it
a lot of
doesn't let
difficulty
you.
levels.
Yeah,
It's difficult. It is actually very challenging.
Yeah. I mean, I started as beginner, or the easiest level. I think it's called beginner, and then it goes to easy, just to see. I skipped the tutorial. I was like, I got this shit under control, and I was like, oh, this is super easy. Yeah, okay, this and boom, okay, hit the coins. All right, punch this wall, no problem, nice and slow. And then put it up to easy, and all that stuff starts happening faster and faster with all the different hard difficulty levels. I tried one on hard, and I was like, this is impossible, and that's the greatest feeling ever. Right, the first time I ever tried Beat Saber on hard, I was like, I'm never gonna be this good. But fast forward, and eventually you're playing on Expert Plus. This has that same kind of feel to it, where I'm like, I don't feel like I'm ever gonna be this good, but I think it's gonna be awesome when I am this good.
yeah. And one thing from the chat, actually, Johnny No Pockets says this looks like a great game for introducing VR to people. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, there's no buttons; you just move your body around, and it's one of those things where everybody's seen this kind of concept on some silly game show before, or like it looks fun. And I think seeing someone play it would be like, oh, I got to try this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking actually, I have some
There's
friends
mods and stuff too,
and want to try out the new VR stuff. A friend of mine and his girlfriend, and I showed them Pistol Whip, and they loved that and stuff. But sometimes I'm like, what do I have that's new to show off to these people that would be great for somebody who's not like a hardcore gamer, but just kind of likes checking out VR stuff? And that actually just sold me thinking about that. I'm gonna go buy this like right after the stream.
the party mode is what you're saying.
Just having people over and showing it off. Yeah.
There is a party mode too, actually.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So local leaderboards and stuff. There is regular leaderboards as well. There's this really cool thing as those walls are passing through you, especially when there's like a bunch together. There's something really cool about the way it looks. Like it's just like, I don't know. It's almost like I said, it's almost like stop animation or something that I don't know how to describe it. Because it's just like, foo, 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 foo. And but as you're doing it, you're quickly seeing a new pose or something, or a pose in general. So like the best example I can give is kind of like holding your arms out like an airplane or something. And like one wall comes at you and you're like this, then the next one comes at you and you're slightly tilting. And then the next one comes at you and you're slightly more tilting. And when that goes, and it's like, like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like when that many come at you at once or whatever, and you're moving like slowly with those, there was something really, really satisfying about that.
Yeah. The music, man, I gotta say.
You want to get to the negatives?
Oh yeah, because I was curious, what's the variety of music? Like what genre?
Are you still on positives?
I'm still on positives. I like the amount of music it came with. There's like 3 separate albums. There's a good variety. There's some stuff that I've heard before that I'm sure was in box VR, and even one song specifically that was in Run Dorothy Run. The second I heard it, I was like, I totally remember this from Run Dorothy Run, and like doing the same kind of motions, collecting all the gems and shit. I was like,
it's royalty-free music. It's royalty-free music.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So when you say albums, there's 3 albums.
That's how
what does that mean in the context? So are they all by one artist each, or something, or okay, just like randomly?
It's like packs. Think of it like OST 1, OST 2, OST 3, except different bands or whatever.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And there's trophies for completing album 1 on beginner, for finishing every song like that on beginner. There's trophies for finishing album 2 on hard, that kind of thing. So that's just kind of how they divide it up and kind of set different challenges that way. Do we want to talk about negatives? Is that time?
Well,
I know we're running out of time.
It's 9 p.m. So.
Yeah. So my negative is actually the music. Some of the songs I did really, really like, but they were pretty few and far between. But when those songs clicked for me, and but let me just make a note: I'm very picky about music. I'm not the nicest person to talk to when it comes to like, hey, you like this band? I'm like, no, I don't like that band.
I'm with you for sure.
Yeah, but I like my own music and not much else. But yeah, when I liked the music, I was like, this game is amazing. Unfortunately, most of the music I did not like though. And like you said, there's songs from Box VR that are shared. It's like this free royalty free music. I really hate that. I think it's a missed opportunity to really get some cool music. Even like To the Top had its own like soundtrack where they got local musicians and stuff to contribute to the thing. But like yeah, when I liked the music, which there were definitely some songs I loved, it was amazing. But when I didn't like the music, it was like I was like I'm not feeling this.
I will say, as far as local music goes, not everybody lives in Austin. Developers,
Yeah,
you're lucky if you live in Austin and you're developing a game because local music is all over the place.
yeah.
What I'll tell
But
you.
yeah, so I'm curious, like, so genre-wise, like, having not heard most of it, what didn't you like? Was it just like too nondescript? It seemed
Cheesy,
bland. It was cheesy.
cheesy
Okay, so
music.
Some of
it
it's
It's
seemed like
cheesy.
it's
free
I'm gonna
music.
do this for
It
my
sounded like
town.
Yeah.
free
I'm gonna
music.
do this for my town
Okay.
or something. I don't know. I was like, what? Whose
I
town
think
are you
it's the
talking
same
about?
thing as we had with Box VR. All of it sounds like something that's popular, but it's just ripping off something that's popular.
Right.
Like it's. I was like, did I hear this on the radio? No, but I know I have heard the song that this song is ripping off on the radio.
It's facsimile music.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say that my biggest complaint about this game so far is that when I'm going through the tracks on each album, they need to take some inspiration from Beat Saber here. And the second I click on the song, show me what I've done with this song already. Show me that I've beaten it on easy and got this score. Show me I've gotten it on hard and gotten this score. It's if it's there, it's really hidden and it should be just very fucking right in your face. Like I was going through and I was like, I don't even know which ones of these I've finished.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't have like the
Give me a
UI and
star,
stuff.
give me something, man. Like I need a little bit more, something obvious to be like, okay, yeah, you've done this, and this. This is your next one, and it just felt like I was waiting for leaderboards to pop up and see if I finished. And I was like, nothing. No, this is. I needed something more obvious. But that's it, man. I haven't spent that much time with it to have a ton of complaints yet. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and really difficult.
I
So
love the gameplay. I love the
it's a-
gameplay, but
It's a
but with,
$20 game.
um,
Game.
I think it's
We've
I
talked
think
a lot about $20 games lately. So Brian says yes, absolutely. AJ, maybe.
it's a. I mean, I don't know. I think if you like the music, I think listen to the music, and if you like the music, the gameplay and everything is definitely worth the $20.
Right.
There's 27 songs, which is really nice, but you got to listen to the music, and you know, if you like listen to the music and you're like, I don't like this music at all, then I would say no. But it really, unfortunately, depends on the music. The gameplay is not the problem here. The presentation, the graphics, not the problem here for me. The music is the problem for me.
I think when we talk about a $20 game, I think you remove taste from it. You say, do I like the soundtrack? Yes or no. That's maybe not the question at hand. Is there enough content here to justify it? Is it fun? And maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. But I was smiling when I was playing this. Right, this gave me something new, something different. It made me feel good when I was playing, and I enjoyed it. And for me, it looked like it was going to take me a very long time to get through these things. It was going to be some, a kind of a difficulty spike that I might have to get over, or at least a learning curve that I need to ride. And I feel like I'll get there eventually, but I'm certainly going to get my $20 out of this, I think.
All right, good stuff. Well, I'm gonna buy it, I guess. Sounds good.
I mean, if nothing,
If I don't know if we're live or not, but the rock
Oh.
music, I will say, was not good. Judges panel, 3 thumbs up, 3 thumbs down. We don't have to agree. Number
Lightning
one is Resident Evil Gold Edition with all the DLC. He's already got the. I didn't even say the price, and he's got the
$20.
2
Who
thumbs
cares
up.
what
It's
price it is?
$20.
Yeah, buy it.
100%, one of the best games on
Yeah.
PSVR. Need it. We're not even talking about some of the crappier games on this list. There's Tokyo Chronos that's like $30 on sale. Stay away. Thumbs down. What else we got?
This is an interesting one. Ace Combat 7 for $20.
Yes, do it.
Especially if you have a HOTUS.
If you already have a host,
Absolutely have to.
Buy one for Squadrons and then get this for $20 as a bonus.
This is gonna be probably divisive. Actually, no, I'm gonna be outnumbered on this one. Monsters of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15 or whatever. Monsters of the Deep fishing game, $15.
Not worth it. I wouldn't buy this game.
If you like fishing,
$9.
if you like fishing with metal music,
It's frustrating.
and if you like,
It's boring.
I didn't think it
there's
was
way too many
frustrating.
load screens and all these things that have nothing to do with fishing.
Yeah.
And if you don't care about FF15, it's like, this is boring. I hate this.
I hate Final Fantasy 15. I like this game.
I found upgrading
I like-
each and every component of your fishing rod and everything like that. The lines, you could do it, but it was the move controllers. It was a shit show. It was horrible doing it and doing it over and over, trying to figure out what you need to have equipped before heading out to go fishing for each of these missions. Like I said, I spent like fucking 10 hours in this game, I think, easily, maybe 20. And it's just, unfortunately, after you get through the campaign, which is really short, there's just it's just mind-numbingly boring. So unfortunately, I'm gonna say no, but like there's a couple hours that's kind of fun in there.
If you have Final Fantasy nostalgia, there's some things I liked about it that are Final Fantasy.
Lightning round. What's up next?
I think that was it.
That is it, man.
There's other stuff
that
on
was
sale,
it?
but it's been a long show, and we just want to wrap up with a couple things we want to talk about. Guys,
Next week, man.
Oh my God.
I don't want to talk
Ugh.
about next week. Let's pretend next week
Onslaught.
doesn't- I'm dealing with one day at a time, dude. Tonight is insane. Tomorrow is insane. Saturday is insane. I've just got all this shit like lined up with each and every day. I'm just trying to take down one day at a time.
Here's what I think. I think we gotta do this in shifts. AJ plays Walking Dead. I play Squadrons. You play something else. We all come back.
Oh,
How are we all supposed to play all these games?
We're all
It's
gonna
be.
We're all gonna play Walking Dead, and no, we're not gonna play anything else. That's what we're gonna
We'll
do.
play Squadrons. Well, I guess not next week.
Squadrons.
Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, next week is Squadrons.
When we get
Isn't
it's
it?
Friday, isn't it? Yeah, it's Friday next week.
Insane, insane. Everything's insane, guys. Just want to say shout out to every single person that hung out with us tonight. It was another great stream, another great GAMESCAST in the books. I really loved hanging out with all the cats. Thank you to everybody who commented. Thank you to everybody who hung out. Thank you to everybody who donated. Make sure you join us over on Discord and subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground. And of course, my personal little shout out at the end. I want to make sure that everybody who just sat back, relaxed, didn't say a goddamn word the entire time. Don't worry, we know you're out there. We love you. I was one of you too. And the people who don't get enough love are the moderators. Guys, I didn't even give a shout out to the moderators at the end of my 12-hour Minecraft live stream because I was so brain dead. But thank you guys. All the moderators are doing God's work, making sure that we can run the show and not have to stress out about every little thing. So thank you very much. We appreciate everything you do for us. That's it.
Cue the cat.
For another episode of PSVR GAMESCAST Live. That's Dave. That's AJ. My name is Brian Paul. And we're out. Cue the cat.
Wow. Oh, God. That's so wrong. But I want to say thank you so much to the Triangulator. Thank you. Don't thank us. Thank you, Triangulator. Gamer Chick 13. Always nice having one of the pros in the house. Delirium Drew VR, my dude, says smash that like, join the Discord, play VR. Couldn't agree anymore, Delirium Drew. William McKinney says, but does the stream support move controllers? You're goddamn right. It does. Move support, aim support, DualShock 4, even finger tracking.
It doesn't.
Johnny Ripe.
No, but it doesn't support the 3D rudder.
No 3D runners.
No.
Johnny Ripe up the Stray Cat. Thank you for being a mod. Twitcher, the single player Game Cat. I have no weaknesses. That is damn right. Flame Hat, the Game Cat. Madel Love. Hello. Rest well you to yourself too. Meow Meow, the Gamer Cat. Hope you all get some little sleep. I'm playing more VR games because I'm crazy.
I'm gonna get very
Genetic blasphemy.
You sound like a car salesman. I'm gonna do it 'cause I'm crazy. I'm giving cars away.
Saturday.